What is up, my Ammonites? It's your boy Yin Guy, and welcome back to another live stream. Hold on, real quick. I just need to fix my camera right. There we go. Now I can see you guys. Yeah, you've seen the title. We've all been through it, and I just wanted to do a little live stream and just come out and say thank you, guys, for 1,000 Ammonites. I mean, it's been a long 10 years, give or take. I mean, I've been doing this with all a bunch of cringy stuff, and long before I even knew I could be a VTuber. But now, here we are, 1,000 sub-Ammonites later, right here on YouTube. And we've also hit 10 Ammonites on Twitch, and just about 200 on Twitter. So I just wanted to come out here and say thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for being with me on this long and, dare I say, difficult journey to get here. But we made it, guys. Thank you. Let's see if anyone's... Yeah, we really did come a long way, huh, didn't we? I mean, I really had to get a little extra creative on certain things, and I've been having a hard time on what I should really do to celebrate with you guys in this special occasion. Whether I should watch Goji Center's Hybrid War or watch some of my own cringe back in the day. I mean, I deleted quite a bit of it because they aren't that many views, and they are made very long time ago. But either way, it's over 300 videos that are made on YouTube. It is exhausting work. Yeah, but there's still quite a bit of a journey left to go. I'm still eager to make more, and hopefully sometime in the future, I will be making some merch for you guys to celebrate the occasion. Some posters, keychains. Yeah, I really want to get that little thing going, cause all the other bigger VTubers are doing it, so why can't a little fish like me do that? But yeah, so there's merch on the brain. Not sure how I'm gonna get started on that just yet, but hopefully I'll be able to reach out to somebody in my area or somewhere online I could find a designer. But I'm sure some of you have probably already asked this, but yes, I will be evolving to a new form soon. And no, I will not be spoiling anything too much. I mean, that's kind of spoiling a surprise. Maybe that'll be a special summer gift for you guys. But yeah, there's still so much to do. So many Ammonites to collect, so many plans to make. You know how it is. But today I just wanted to kind of hang out and just congratulate you guys. Yeah, you guys really helped me get me this far, and I am so thankful. I know you guys don't really owe me anything to get me this far. I mean, yes, it's a little bit frustrating I'm getting no more than double digits on my videos. I mean, but lately I've been seeing quite a rise up on my videos, like Spyro's live reaction to Spyro's love interest. Who would have known that the purple boy was such a player, huh? Good times. Yeah, and there's only one on here. No! I was hoping... And there's at least one viewer. Hello! But yeah, I am just so thankful for you guys. I mean, I just wanted to take this time and just thank you guys for making this all possible. I mean, I would have never been able to go anywhere near this without you guys. I mean, yes, I make all the videos. Yes, I do all this, but real life is kind of hard on me to do everything that I want to do, but that's part of life. So to tell you the truth, you guys made this possible, so thank you guys for believing in me, for supporting me, becoming Ammonites. I mean, we went through so many phases. I used to be like a tiny little gremlin in the shape of a little half angel, half lizard thing. But then I evolved again into what appears to be a merman orca, which is a switch between, which is kind of a weird phase, but I decided to combine all of that with the fantastical mer design that you see here. But pretend like this is not moving at all. This is not the VTuber thing. Imagine it's the PNG. But then came the next stage in evolution, the VTuber stage, where I've been watching a lot of VTubers like Iron Mouse and Silverveil. I love you girls. You are the first. And more VTubers later, I too became a VTuber, as you can see, and now I am evolving even further. And who knows how far this rabbit hole will go? But I'm just glad that you guys are with me this whole time. Could never have done any of this without you. But anyway, where, hold on. Is anyone else on YouTube here? Or is it just Hydra? Hydra! I saw you on one of Cinder's... Cinder? Cinder was on what? Hello? Hey, Raptor, how's it going? Wait. Cinder the Hellhound? Huh? Where did you see this? I was on Cinder's live stream? Huh? Where did you see that? No way. No way. Send me a link. Send me a link. I want a timestamp. I want to figure out what is going on here. Did that sexy hellhound find me? Was she out fishing? 'Cause, oh my lord, I have found Milkies. Oh, what have I become? 30 years. Oh, Cinder is a VTuber that I actually watch. I was actually inspired by another VTuber, actually two VTubers in particular, to actually become a VTuber myself. Those being Iron Mouse and Silverveil. Two awesome and very sexy looking ladies. Yes. I am not afraid to say it. I'm sure y'all can see it for yourselves. No, I am not pulling it out. Oh. Commenting. All right. Okay. Okay. Whew. I was gonna say that was, like, Cinder was watching me? Holy crap! But anyway, yeah, that was all that, and I did promise you guys that I would have us watch the Goji Center. Hang on, let me go ahead and switch myself. Says, did you have on her live stream? I actually don't remember, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of so many VTuber clips and memes and all that jazz, and it was just a very good time. Just enjoying everything, and hey, no need to violate anything. I am not trying to expose nobody. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get cool videos up. At SSJ J4 Gek. Oh boy. Yeah, I've been watching. I actually saw on Twitter that Prince Vegeta's interpretation of Vegeta is canon now. I mean, we are taking over. Hang on, wait, another live. Hold on, wait, whoa. Okay, saw you in another live stream in Endless Ocean Luminous. Oh yeah, that might have been another one I was watching. I forgot what her name is, but I subscribe to her. She actually is does other gameplays, but I've known her as in the Endless Ocean series. As you know, I'm doing you saw me delete the first episode because, well, it really wasn't getting much traction, and I really wasn't all that inspired to continue, so I kind of started over from scratch. I haven't started anything yet, but yeah. Contacting Cinder about doing a live stream? I actually did consider doing a few Oh, remember Spyro says about love? Yes. Yes, I am another noble warrior falls victim to the plague of love. Just look away. Oh, just wait till he hits puberty. Wait, when? I forget. When does a dragon hit puberty, now that I think about it? Because he's been 12 years old for a very long time. Yeah, Mandy. Yeah, it's been a long... Yeah, I remember that live stream. I was actually exploring the Arctic region with the belugas. Yeah. I definitely remember that. It was definitely a fun stream. I'm actually wondering if I should try to reach out to her and do a collab. Or other people as well. I mean, maybe they'll be inspired to become Ammonites too. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me go ahead and type that onto Twitter right now. Hold on. How does this whole thing work? Anyone with a Murdrake? I'll give a little picture as well. You know, gotta make sure it looks good. Boop. And... is Simpsons magic on... I don't know! You know, I think it might be a case of... Sonic Sonic Age Syndrome, where he's forever 12 years old? I mean, he's been at least 12 for at least 20 years, give or take. Actually, no, that would be about 30 years. Is one. Oh yeah, yeah, collab with Mandy. Yeah, that would be so much fun. I actually gonna see if I can't reach out to her and maybe do a collab at some point. I'm not sure how it'll work, but I'll definitely see how. We'll have to look at time zones and everything, but it's gonna be great. Maybe other VTubers as well. Okay, I'll just leave it with a simple question and boom. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I did promise you guys a video series of, let's see here. No. But you get the idea. Everyone knows that Sonic is 15, and I mean, that's just the same concept. You get the idea. Let's see here. Okay, how does... Alright, this is... Yeah, I've actually got a whole playlist set up, so... I guess without further ado, let's take a look, shall we? At the Goji Center's Hybrid War. But of course, I'm gonna have to show you guys, for those that are new, some of you are probably wondering, how did it all start? So, let's go ahead and start with the original video that started this war to begin with. Oh, whoa, zoop, boom, and let's go.
The Indominus Rex was notorious for laying waste to an entire park, leaving nothing but mutilated corpses in her path.
That's just the canon, Indominus.
Here on Goji Center, we are going to take this even further.
I actually still can't believe they actually made the D-Rex. I mean, everyone is saying that it does not fit, and I don't know. I mean, it's a cool concept. I mean, it's not as weird as dinosaur-human hybrids, or... I don't know. I mean, it was a different... I don't know. I'm optimistic. They haven't let us down yet, and everyone's talking about hybrids ever since the Indominus showed up. And there were those leaks about the Dino Soldier program. But anyway, proceeding.
How can we make the Indominus herself more dangerous and her warpath more lethal? Today, we will deliver nothing else but more chaos, more carnage, more...
Oh yes!
In a previous episode, we talked about the Ultimasaurus and its anatomy, and ended up bringing forth an even more
that'll be the last video we check out.
Down just about anything this island could throw at it, even an angry sauropod. For this episode, we'll be doing more or less the same with the Indominus Rex, studying its genetic composition and replacing a few contributors with surprising life forms that you won't even see coming. The idea is to build a more lethal hybrid that will wipe out all significant life forms in this island, both big and small.
That is a very dangerous apocalyptic monster. Hold on, let me go ahead and grab something real quick so I can actually have that on speed dial. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now I can see you guys. Okay, when I saw D-Rex, it reminded me of the Cloverfield. I mean, yeah, it actually does kind of look like a Cloverfield clone. Except, of course, it had those T-Rex arms at the center, but it actually does not have those air sacs at the side of its head, but it still has that beluga head. Yeah, I don't know how dangerous this one's gonna be, but what? Was inspired by... Probably was. I mean, I'm actually curious as to whether or not this was gonna be another weapons program or something. But anyway, moving on to I-Rex 2.0.
And yes, this includes humans. This will
Yeah,
require
I mean,
different
yeah,
approach
you
than
gotta
what we
wipe
did
out
with
everything,
Ultrasaurus
right?
and Paratrix.
Yeah, I see you. We know you're part of the shadow government, you monsters.
This episode will still be an Indominus, but will look different since the objective is to cause an extinction event quickly and efficiently. Making this hybrid bigger will only mean that smaller life forms such as humans and below will be able to easily hide from this animal. We'll be reconstructing this hybrid
we have
to fit our
doors.
extinction needs as we go, starting with the overall
Even a
frame.
two-headed velociraptor.
Wait, no,
yeah,
not...
I did see the two-headed raptor, but the problem with that is I don't know if that's gonna be actually the ones that are still alive, cause two heads are not always better than one, as nature tells and proves time and again.
This type of frame, dude, this is for a poster. I guess the video editor couldn't think of a better way to plug in our sponsor, Displate, who provided us at Goji Center HQ with a few built metal posters.
And I was just talking about building merch of my own.
Just go to Displate.
Yeah, I really got to think of some designs for you guys.
Officially licensed designs like Star Wars, Marvel, Jurassic Park, and find cool Godzilla posters like this one we got here.
And maybe I should do a little plate of my own. Call it Poseidon's Rising. Or Modern Merdrake. I don't know, I'll think of trademarks.
Including one taking form in Displate's new Textra product.
They were failed attempts to clone.
To your wall art.
I mean,
if
yeah,
you happen to suck at mounting stuff on your wall,
that is a question. What happened to the failed attempts?
No tools, no damage to your walls, and no angry landlords telling you that you can't mount anything on the wall. Screw that, dude. With Displate,
Hell
you'll get
yeah!
your Indoraptor
Let's
poster
go!
in just a few days, slap that thing on the wall, and you're good to go. Use this code to get
and they've got the dragons from Game of Thrones.
And if you get 3 or more, you get 37% off your whole order. Thanks to Displate
and I'm
for
actually
sponsoring
kind
this
of
episode.
intrigued that they actually redesigned the Mosasaur.
If the objective is to try to reduce the population on Nublar, an animal
they should have just made the tail a little bit more like a
inside some buildings as
more
well
like
as
a shark tail
prey. So
instead of the usual crocodile.
Necessary here. This doesn't mean that we're going to shrink the overall size. Remember, we do need to bring down these guys, sauropods too, so keeping her large will motivate her to keep hunting to meet her caloric needs. Outrunning the smaller life forms such as Gallimimus won't be necessary, since ambushing can do the trick just fine. So, what should we do?
As proven by Rexy.
To begin, we'll reduce the size of the hind legs to make this animal a bit more quadrupedal.
One design could be an Ammonite with a certain design? Yeah! Possibly. And like I said, I'll be evolving soon, so stay tuned for that.
This seems counterintuitive, but consider that quadrupeds can distribute their weight on 4 limbs instead of just 2. This Indominus can now be potentially faster and quieter. That's right, now her weight can be distributed better instead of 2 booming footsteps, making her an even better ambush predator than she already
as
is.
you can see, it's
Also,
already been capable of walking on 2 legs, but now it can do it much better.
Get toppled over. Our Indominus now looks a bit more menacing, but the biggest modification is about to begin. Number 2,
arms.
front limbs. It's no secret that the Indominus is extremely intelligent, but giving her better limbs and better dexterity will allow her devilish ideas to come to fruition much easier. That's why we'll modify her forearms to take the traits of an ape, like a chimpanzee. Before you freak out, note that she already has opposable thumbs, a trait also seen in apes. So pushing the already suspected ape genome here would most definitely help the Indominus a lot more in combat. How?
Oh, imagine if the Universal
shoulders of apes
decided to do this design. That would be terrifying.
Bones and muscle allow them to whirl their arms around 360 degrees. This range, if given to the
I mean,
Indominus,
I'm not
will
gonna
make her
say
grappling,
much, but it's
mangling,
definitely
and
something to look
slashing
forward
so
to.
much more
Yeah, anyway, guys, if you guys are making any art, be sure to leave it in the community tab or something. I would love to see that. Also, be sure to check out my Twitter as well, cause that's also an open space for art. I would love to see what you come up with, and it might actually give me some new ideas. I'd love to interact with my Ammonites. I just wish I had more time to do so, cause life sucks sometimes.
Stronger that no other
But
dinosaur will
anyway,
have any
back to the
effective counter
carnage.
against these flexible maneuvers. But that's not all. This upgrade also comes with fast twitch muscles, making these arms a lot stronger than they already look. Any impact, grip, push, or throw will be many
Yoink.
times more dangerous. And yes, throwing as well.
Hey, that orangutan knew what he was doing. He's like, hey, I make you a deal with you. Hey, you throw me that, but hang on, let me go back real quick. Hold
these
on.
arms a lot stronger than they already look. Any impact, grip, push,
Yeah.
or throw will be many times more dangerous. And yeah,
Oh, hey, can it? Hey, hey, listen, human. Hang on. Hey, listen, human. I make a deal with you. You throw me that banana, and I got something for you. Here, you ready? You ready to catch? Oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. All right, I'm gonna throw this at you. You better pay attention now.
yes, throwing as
All right, thanks, man. Now throw me that banana.
well. One skill exclusive to apes is the ability to hold things, throw them, and even use tools. Now, admittedly, it's a bit bizarre to see an Indominus use tools, but if the objective is for the Indominus to effectively kill all life forms, she will have to be capable of reaching tiny humans hiding inside crevices with her own arms, or with whatever else she can find.
Yeah, that's
No,
deadly.
this actually can happen.
Did I forget to tell you how terrifying that would have been if Universal thought that was an idea? Hollywood, what are you doing? You used to be the pinnacle of creativity, and now you got this right here. Come on! You guys used to be scary. Now we gotta have to do it ourselves? No wonder you guys are dying. Yeesh.
In the real world, chimps have been observed fashioning spears to jam into cramped spaces, impaling the small animals inside. Because of the ape genome coupled with the shorter hind legs, our Indominus will now move a little differently.
And you know, since they brought up chimpanzees, the Indominus was already aggressive enough. Combine that with a chimpanzee? Whoo! IQ and rage is gonna be through the roof. You better run. You better run.
When she's walking. Knuckle walking would be a pretty easy way of getting around without ruining those claws. In the next section,
Yeah.
we'll also be improving
Maybe even
these.
small claws
Our
at
new
the
Indominus
joints.
is still capable of running on her hind legs, using her front arms as support when tearing through rough terrain, climbing steep inclines, and running through wide alleyways. This is now an all-terrain hybrid. Number 3, claws. Now to the business end of these already overpowered claws. Therizinosaurus was a good contributor to these, and they did function well enough. But how
I
can we
will-
make
I think
these
I will after this
better?
video.
When it comes to slashing and rending as well as grappling, there is another more optimal shape from another carnivore. None other than the largest predator in the Jurassic.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna clover that a little bit. Hang on, you said, hang on, what was that? Jurassic Park. Oh. Doomsday Rex. Okay, what do we got? Okay. Doomsday Rex. A Doomsday Rex. Oh, yeah, I did see this. The two-headed Rex. Yeah, that... Hold on. Yeah, I did see this. Oh. Yeah, this is definitely something you would find in a kaiju movie. And that's almost 40 feet tall, too. That's about 30 feet tall. If I'm looking at the scale right, that... Yeah, so many concepts that have never actually made it out of light. Yeah, I remember seeing this. That's terrifying. All right, let's. All right, where did I? Okay. Just need to boop and. Oh, I got the wrong one. Okay.
Orophagonax. Being this big means killing big dinosaurs. And what better with than these? What you see here is a reconstruction, but does not represent the largest known specimen of this genus. So yeah, they could have been bigger than this. This sharp hook is the perfect shape. But even still,
that's more than enough to kill things.
Mixed with the ape-like forelimbs, these will literally shred through the skin of the thickest hides of some animals, as if you stuck a sharp hook in your mom's leather sofa. A hook like this inside, backed up by powerful fast-twitch movements, will destroy the thigh of any dinosaur. Even a sauropod would topple down from a wound from these claws. This weapon alone will lay...
You know, hold on, let me go back just a little bit. That actually brings me a flashback like a little bit, right?
Topple down from a...
Yeah, right here. This actually kind of reminds me of Sauron from Primal Rage. Everyone remember Primal Rage? Or am I just that old to remember? Should I do a live... I'm actually wondering if I should do a live stream for you guys on that game. Just go through different dinos and monsters from back in the day. You know what? I'm actually kind of mad that we're not getting those kind of classics back. Bring back the childhoods! Damn it!
Wound from these claws. This weapon alone will lay waste to all large-sized creatures. This hand, now that we can call it that, will grip any animal, toppling it down and killing without even needing to involve the teeth. Its lower center of gravity, aided by a wider stance, will make it impossible for any herbivore or even large carnivore to flank this creature. Number 4, armor. With addition, subtraction will also be required. We already reduced the length of the hind legs, but we'll make another adjustment with this hybrid's armor. An animal this big, like the Indominus, only really needed to rely on its robust size and thick hide, rather than osteoderms. For instance, the T-Rex wasn't defeated here because she lacked armor, instead because she got out-grappled. Indominus would have been fine here with just her thick skin on top of her body. These spiky osteoderms are spread apart too much to be actually considered an effective form of armor, but were there just for the cool factor. The real armor
definitely does look cool.
Here was the thick skull and thick hide.
Would make it for the Scorpius Rex? I don't even want to remember. I don't want to imagine.
The animals themselves, we see that
we've seen the Indoraptor. That is a nightmare.
Keeping this mishmash of DNA would risk confusing the Indominus' instinct to use the forelimbs, complicating the internal anatomy now that this animal has even longer arms. Raptor DNA helps here, but we need something more to not only protect the Indominus,
maybe the Megaraptor
that is even more compatible with our now facultative quadrupedal hybrid. Meet the African dwarf crocodile. Okay,
hello.
It's a bit underwhelming at first glance,
I haven't even considered that.
Has something its bigger relatives lack: armor on its upper body and below. Our Indom here was only armored from above and not from the sides. So now, with our croc here making itself present in this genetic composition,
that's going to be very helpful in combat.
Body armor to work with. Not extremely thick and scaly like the Giga, but something resembling this croc's thick hide. That is the part that's not covered by osteoderms. Something thick enough to fend off firearm projectiles and slashes. Another reason why this is the perfect animal to supply armor from is because this creature also has longer legs than your typical crocodilian. These guys spend most of their time on land and are known for rushing prey beyond cover of water. This muscular tail will help counterbalance the added bulk to the modified Indom forelimbs, making bipedalism easy when it wants to run on 2 legs. For this reason, the African dwarf croc proves itself a better contributor than the Abelisaurus. Not to mention that this new
Carnotaurus and Majungasaurus was used in making Indominus. I mean, yeah, they probably did take out the Majunga and Carnotaurus DNA out of the Indominus and replaced it with a crocodilian. Logically speaking, I mean, they definitely want those arms to be working. And as you probably know about Carnotaurs and Majungasaurs, they're not exactly gold medalists in arm day in the gym. So, yeah, it's the crocodile, it is.
new crocodilian-like tail and genetics now allows the Indominus to be more aquatic. Sure, the crocodilian attributes are already present with the integration of Deinosuchus DNA, but our Indominus 2.0 will have a bit more crocodilian influence to its overall build, making it able to pursue animals on both land and water. Oh, but adding a dwarf crocodile is going to affect the size of this animal, right? No. Consider that adding raptor, a
yeah, you're talking about Peter Jackson's.
Cuttlefish and tree frogs didn't seem to shrink the damn
thing. Hang on. There was a kaiju raptor in... Yeah, I think that was the Venoraptor, I think it was called. Yeah, Peter Jackson's Skull Island was a nightmare. And in my honest opinion, a lot more terrifying than the MonsterVerse Skull Island. And I mean way more terrifying. I mean the pit? The insect pit? Yeah. Fun fact about the insect pit, in the original movie, they actually deleted that scene because it was too terrifying. Imagine if they kept it. Hell, imagine if that Peter Jackson's film was released back in that time period, back in that day. Oh, people would be dying of fright.
So adding a bit of reptilian croc DNA won't have too much effect. Okay, enough with the armor. Let's get to the fun stuff.
Yeah, the bite.
Number 5, the bite. Is it even possible to make this bite better here? Believe it or not, there is.
Really?
The bite of the Indom was already kinda OP, given that the T-Rex base genome was already involved. The robust head of the T-Rex allowed the Indominus to be resilient enough
that and combined with the crocodile DNA too, so that makes it that much more dangerous.
Which, from a critical point of view, didn't add much apart from bite force. Croc teeth are meant for penetrating and gripping, which compared to the effects of a T-Rex bite, the T-Rex bite method proves more lethal and messy. It's likely that the exposed teeth of the Indom were courtesy of the Deinosuchus, but having exposed teeth can be a problem. Without any lips or gum tissue, the teeth would be at risk of rotting, weakening the enamel.
That's gonna be a lot of bad tooth decay.
And since our Indom is not submerged in water all the time, we may have a problem here. So today, we'll take the Deinosuchus.
Imagine if the Jurassic Park movies were based on the They kind of were in a way, but yeah, Michael Crichton actually was a huge influence in the first 2 films. But yeah, they had to take a few things out and add a few in order to add a few things that are in shock factor. But you know, if it was solely based on the book, that would probably be a whole different movie. So, props to Spielberg. He made a legend.
Deinosuchus genome away, since a well-placed bite of a T-Rex powered jaw will be more than enough to handle just about anything alive on land. Instead, we'll make this bite deadlier by the incorporation of a powerful predator known to hunt down animals larger than itself. A cold-blooded killer with a brutal set of teeth, an insatiable thirst for blood, eating more than its body weight every single day. No.
The shrew.
Seriously, we're not kidding. Meet the northern short-tailed shrew. This animal was selected more so because of what's going on under the hood. See for yourself, this dude's grill features a tiny array of weapons of
Red
mass destruction.
teeth.
Jaws loaded with fast twitch muscles.
Can you
and
imagine
known to
if we
gnaw through
actually
bone and
had
protective shells
teeth
in a
like
span
that?
of seconds?
People
This
would
red
be
stuff
running
here,
for their
not blood.
lives.
In fact,
Oh my God!
any unlucky
That's
victim would
blood!
wish it
He's
was.
tasted
This
blood!
black and red
I
coloration
brushed just
comes from
today.
high amounts of iron ingrained into the composition of the teeth, producing extremely sharp cutting edges capable of sawing into prey. So, in effect, these teeth are metal. If this still fails to impress, we'll have you know that this animal is one of those extremely rare examples of venomous mammals. That's right. Unlike a snake where it injects its venom through its fangs, this creature will violently jam its frontal tusks and insert venom violently all over the place, leaving a bloody mess. Now, some more factors can come into play as well. To make matters worse for the victims of this newly improved Indominus, this shrew lives in a near constant state of adrenaline rush, making it move faster, kill faster, eat faster, and as a result, will end up eating many times its own weight, in turn motivating our already hungry Indom to kill at a faster rate. Combine these new tooth attributes with that of a T-Rex bite, and we potentially have the most lethal bite in the Jurassic franchise.
Yeah,
This
no
scene,
thanks,
our
I'm
new
not
Indom
going
will
in
shatter
that.
this ball like a light bulb. You may think that this animal can't get any worse, but you're very wrong.
It's gonna be in the claws,
Number
isn't it?
6. What is more dangerous than one hybrid?
Oh, no.
Multiple. And no, we won't need Mr. Indominus for this, because in this scenario, Miss Indom won't need no man. Admittedly, the Indominus in Jurassic World may have possibly had this ability genetically blocked per se, as to not repeat the same mistakes made in Jurassic Park, where these raptors started breeding without a male counterpart. We aren't sure of this, but to make this more interesting, we'll
boy.
allow this ability to play out in order for our new Indom to produce more clones of herself. By adding
no.
some whiptail lizard into the mix, an animal known for deliberately reproducing without a mate. This has been seen before already with the Scorpius rex via parthenogenesis. The Scorpios, however, would undergo a meiosis parthenogenesis, given that the offspring was a bit different than the mother, and not all traits were inherited by the baby Scorpios. In this scenario, all traits and all physical attributes will be passed down from mother to offspring, bringing forth exact replicas of the mother using apomictic parthenogenesis. This
I
increases
don't
the
understand
likelihood
how
of
that
all of these
works.
new Indoms to work together, coordinating
Yeah,
attacks like
a whole
raptors,
legion.
effectively killing all surrounding human life in a very short time. Not to mention, these guys are smaller, faster, able to run through hallways in smaller areas, able to grow at much faster
And
rates than
maybe
your normal
jump through the
dinosaur. And
trees.
even if the mother dies or gets killed, she'll just end up getting replaced by another identical hybrid who can also reproduce. These smaller, hyper-adrenalized hybrids will end up sweeping the island, bringing down medium-sized creatures via coordinated attacks. In no time, the human and dinosaur population will be rendered down to very few, turning this island's sweep into a search and kill operation.
Yeah.
We've successfully created an animal that can cause an extinction-level event in this island, but there's a chance we could turn this into a global catastrophe.
Oh no!
Number 7.
The plague?
With so much carnage and bloodshed happening in this island, it will be inevitable for disease to spread. The putrid scent of rotting corpses fills the air as hordes of blood-stained Indominus rexes run around looking for the next thing to kill. One nasty aspect when it comes to genetics is that when dealing with life forms, the microscopic ones are infinitely harder to control. We're talking about viruses. To put this very, very simply, viruses hijack cells and the DNA chain to make copies of themselves. They leave traces of themselves in the host, and the host will leave traces of itself in the virus. So they both exchange information, basically. When the virus jumps to another different species, it will die off because it was not able to replicate. But if it does replicate, then a new strain is made, which can be terrifyingly deadly to this new infected species. What does this have anything to do with our Indominus extinction event? Over 61% of all major viruses and bacteria-borne diseases started out in one type of animal before jumping to humans. Consider that the Indominus would be a large-bodied predator roaming over a large area, miring itself with all sorts of diseases, bacteria, fecal matter, blood, and all sorts of pestilence. repellent elements. And since it's a hybrid, it will pick up all sorts of bacteria from both birds and mammals. Rabies, avian pox, flu, and the moment one unlucky human just gets near a place an Indominus has been, drinks the same water, or just breathes the same air, then this dude risks getting contaminated
that
and
is
spreading it out
doomed.
to his companions. But wait, this guy is a human. How did this hybrid infect this human? Well, if you remember, our ape genetic contribution earlier also serves a different purpose. Bridging or breaking a genetic barrier for a virus to potentially
Primate
affect
DNA!
humans, producing a deadly strain, spreading amongst anyone who manages to escape the island, both bird and human alike, leaving millions of dead life forms in its wake.
Yeah. I think it's very safe to say there's a very good reason why InGen didn't create that kind of monster. But now we move on to whoever this name is.
It's the spooky month. Howdy, everybody. And here, come gather on the fire. One of my favorite
Hello,
things on this
Goji.
channel is working with my amazing artist, Valerie.
Hello,
On Instagram,
Kai.
by the way. And making all sorts of hybrids. Godzilla hybrids, dinosaur hybrids, and xenomorph hybrids. Just
Yeah.
non-stop combinations of monsters.
The xenomorph
And man, do I
hybrids
love them
are
all
easy.
like dear. They're all cooked up in my radioactive brain and drawn beautifully by my artist. I sure would hate for something to happen to them.
Oh no.
No! Spinosaurus, my baby! Who did this to you? You! For so long, I was the guy that made the hybrids. And right as I step my foot into the Jurassic scene,
Oh, no.
Twitch Center pulls the rug under my feet and flattens my dinosaurs with their own marvelous creation, the Indom 2.0. This beast shreds through my dinosaurs. The only way my guys could stand a chance is if they worked together in perfect unison. But they couldn't. They're all dead. Eaten alive by Goji Center's beast.
And
That
started a plague too.
Today in the Goji Guy Laboratories, I will be developing a dinosaur. No, a monster. So violent, so deadly, so unkillable. It will put the Indom 2.0 6 feet under in a heartbeat. Today we'll be making
We'll
the
see
Indom
how it
2.0's
goes.
killer. The Indom at the end of this video will be nothing more than a piece of candy stuck in his teeth. Happy Halloween, everybody, and let's get cooking.
Happy
the nice thing about this
Halloween.
channel is that
I-
realism.
this is me from the
It was
future.
never a part of this channel. Which off the bat is our biggest advantage. While Goji Center is bound and held back by real-world science, ours, yeah, no. Our dino flips the bird to evolution and physics. So let's
you
start with the
might
baseline
want
dinosaur
to
to
think
build onto.
about
Let's
loss
start
of
with the
physics, buddy.
Spinosaurus, shall we?
'Cause,
the Spino provides a body that is large but simple, allowing
I
us
don't
to add
know.
on to
Maybe
with ease.
he has a
Even
chance.
so, the Spino is already
Maybe.
a formidable opponent. With his long arms and strong jaw, this allows our dino to be blessed with a long reach, allowing us to attack our enemy while they can't hit us. But let's continue. Let's add the Giganotosaurus, giving us superb durability, along with strong legs and an incredible bite. Already we have a deadly hybrid on our hands, but we want to take down the Indom 2.0, so we need a lot more. Next up is the main component of our enemy, the Indominus Rex. The Indom gives us a plethora of other dino DNA, such as T-Rex, Velociraptor,
Yep.
Therizinosaurus, Deinosuchus, and much more, boosting us even further. She also brings longer claws, deadly sharp teeth, and thermal vision. And all of that is good, but the most important part now is that we are now part
This
Indom,
would
meaning
get
we'll know how the
killed
Indom 2.0
again.
fights, how it
Don't
behaves,
spoil anything. I
functions.
want to see
And
this.
lastly, for Dino DNA, we'll be taking in the first ever hybrid dino, the Scorpius Rex. Not only are we adding it to the pot, but firstly, we'll be altering
that's
his
an
DNA,
unstable
making his venom much more potent and
mutation.
deadly. But here's where it gets super unnecessarily broken. Now, for context, most scaled animals
pangolin.
have similar features to hairy animals when it comes to oil production. Like how your or my hair produces oil, some scaled animals rely on a combination of mucus and natural oil to keep them healthy. This is where things get broken. We're not only changing the venom of the Scorpius, as you'll see in a moment, we're changing how it comes out. While sure, the Steino will still have quills, it's also not producing it for every single one of its scales. Making it so that if you bite
that's
or flash
gotta
at
be
it,
a
you will one way
dangerous
or another
combo.
get toxin
I got
within you.
poison
And
armor.
the toxin, well, here's what we did. Now, within seconds, the enemy's blood
Okay. Congelated blood, also known as a blood clot, is a clump of blood that forms when the body stops bleeding from an injured blood vessel. So it's called a part of my. So basically, this venom works as a blood clotting thing. Yeah, that's not good. I want my blood to stay pumping and liquid, and not make me stiff as a robot.
congeals, making it so that the Indom 2.0 hits us, its own blood solidifies in its body, making it agonizing to move, and slowly killing the Indom as there's now no blood flow throughout the body. And thanks to Scorpius, we're also now immune to any sort of disease. So I believe there's now already an argument to be held. This custom dino is already practically unstoppable.
Well, I mean,
even the
I
Indom
don't
2.0
know.
would have some issues.
Might
as anywhere
be.
it tries to bite or cut, it
I
could
don't
start
know
to kill
too much
itself.
about
And our
the
dino could also deal
Scorpius,
some hard hits.
but-
But we aren't done just yet. We want to make sure that no matter what Godicin or any other channel in the future creates, this silly dino will still stay on top. Next up is chameleon DNA. This allows us to camouflage even better, and we also have near 360-degree vision.
Now hold on just a minute there. Chameleon? You couldn't have stuck with cuttlefish? That is far superior color changing ability. And if you put in octopus, that's texture of the skin, buddy. Hello? That's way better camouflage. Chameleon? That's just an emoji lizard. I'm just saying.
Paired with the thermal vision already, makes it impossible for anything to sneak up on us. And that also gives us a very strong and prehensile tail, allowing us to practically hang from trees and hide. But we of course aren't done yet.
Good luck
Next up
with
is the bite. Godiciner's Indom 2.0's main feature is its insane bite. And I promised myself I wouldn't use anything they used. So instead, we're using the behemoth that is the Dunkleosteus. Now, it's hard to say how
Okay.
strong the Dunk's bite is, but researchers say somewhere between 11,000 pounds per square inch all the way up to 80,000 pounds. Now, why not the Megalodon, you may ask? While yes, it's widely speculated the Megalodon has a stronger bite, we're actually using the Dunk for its quick snapping attributes, as the way its
Okay,
jaw works
makes sense.
allows it to rapidly snap its jaw shut, meaning that if the Indom 2.0 is unlucky enough to have any of its body near the mouth, it will be gone before it can even realize. But there's still one big issue, the arms. The Indom 2.0 has some massive arms, so what will we add to counter it? An orangutan? An elephant? Nope. A shrimp. Yes, really. Specifically,
Here's
the
using-
pistol shrimp. As those who don't know what a pistol shrimp is, let me explain. The pistol shrimp, despite its small size,
That works
is one of the
on
most
water,
dangerous
but
animals
what
on
about
the planet.
air?
This because of their method of attack. Now, it makes them hit so hard is due to many factors, but the main ones being, 1, their claws operate like a lever, amplifying the force of their snap, and 2, their claws close incredibly fast, often hitting their target over 50 miles an hour. Now, while we haven't given the dino claws, we will give it the pistol shrimp's fast muscles, allowing the dinosaur to attack at lightning speeds, with one hell of a punch behind it. And to add on further, the pistol shrimp, even though it's only around 2 inches in length, are able to punch with roughly 150 pounds of force, hitting so fast they vaporize the water around them in the process. Scaling
Now
those
scale
tiny
it
arms
up
up to
to
our
that.
dino,
That
looking
can
at a
be
dinosaur that in a
a
blink of an
dangerous
eye could hit
multiplier.
you with hundreds of tons of force. Pretty much imagine a tugboat slamming into you at 150 miles an hour. Yeah.
Yikes.
No matter who you are, that will not be a fun time. So everything is together. Time to mix it all up. The Spino's body length.
Yeah, that is
the
true.
Giga's strength with the Indom's muscle mass. The claws and
We could also talk about the mantis shrimp. I mean, but that would that be a Deku or a Saitama? Hard to decide which side of the coin if we're talking anime language here. But we'll
fangs
see.
of the Indom, the quills and toxin of the Scorpius, the fast muscles for the arms and jaw from the shrimp and dunk. The shrimp's headpiece is a sharp skull, good for headbutting and stabbing, a thick tail from the Dunkleosteus, perfect for speedy swimming, and the eyes, a custom touch. So the last thing the Indom 2.0 sees are bright red eyes. Fusing all these animals together, and you're left with Hank. Yes, really,
Hank.
that's his name. Hank is a freakish beast, not meant for the real world. His only purpose is to avenge his fallen brethren, the Gigaraptor, Spinonotosaurus, Endozinosaurus, and the Anchiceratops. I think I can say comfortably, we have made a dinosaur that is able to take down the Indom 2.0. Whether he dies afterwards isn't the matter. The only goal is to take out the Indom, and his goal is completed. But Gojis are smart, crafty, hell, I'd even say brilliant. Whether they mean to
Yes,
or not, they will
they
someday
are
design
mad
another dinosaur,
scientists.
one that not even Hank could stand a chance against. So we've taken it one step further and added an animal so stupidly powerful it has been deemed as the unkillable animal, the tardigrade. The tardigrades, despite being a microscopic organism,
water
are by
bear?
far the most resilient creatures on the planet, being able to handle temperatures from negative 458 degrees Fahrenheit and all the way up to 302 degrees Fahrenheit. They can survive insane pressure over 6,000 times the standard atmosphere. Pressure that strong can turn gas into liquid, and turn liquids into solids. They can tank radiation like a champ, they can survive years without water, they can withstand high levels of toxins and extreme pH levels, and they can even survive the vacuum of space. Not even the great beyond, that is the boundlessness of space, can kill these
That's
guys.
insane.
So, I think it's safe to say, Hank wins this battle. Thank you all very much for watching, and go out there and have a fun
does he,
Halloween.
though?
And I want to clarify, there is no beef between me and Goji Center. This video is done entirely for fun and in the spirit of Halloween.
I think
If you-
there's going to be, buddy. But we'll see how it goes.
Here on Goji Center HQ,
Oh,
the
no.
team was minding our
He
own
has answered
business,
the call.
cooking up some upcoming batches of Nightmare Fuel for a future episode when this came up on our radar. Oh, don't worry, if we hadn't noticed it, plenty of other people would have, and we're all too happy to let us know. Upon digging a little deeper to find out what all the commotion was about, a whole plethora of mentions, comments, and messages, we stumbled across a rather interesting creation. Meet Hank, a monstrous hybrid creation cooked up by the YouTuber Goji Guy and talented artist Valeria_LNX. Sporting a body covered in toxins, jaws of the dreaded Dunkleosteus, skin and eyes of a chameleon, the striking power of a pistol shrimp, and the uncanny survivability of a tardigrade. A truly terrifying creature that was custom built to destroy our Indom 2.0.
Uncanny, though.
This animal was conjured by the great minds of the research team of Goji Center, brought together with one goal: exterminate all life on Nublar. And it more or less had the
And
potential
the
to cause
world,
a global
you
health
mad
crisis.
monsters.
This animal minding its own business. was
Imagine
pitted
if
against
Goji
a
Center
new
is an actual
amalgamation,
research
a hybrid
facility.
battle that we never asked for.
We would
but
be
got dragged
doomed.
into.
Okay,
so far,
Hank
after the challenge
versus
our way, we have
Indom
exactly what a lot
2.0.
of you wanted to see. A horrific beast with precisely calibrated abilities to make it as lethal as it could be to bring Hank down. Indominus 2.0 is hereby upgraded to nothing. No, seriously.
Nothing?
No
No
we aren't
upgrades?
changing anything. What you're looking at is Indom 2.0, but with different skins in Jurassic World Evolution. Cool, right? Nexus mods link below. Anyways, instead, she's stepping back into the analysis platform, and today we'll evaluate how our monstrous creature stands up against its new challenger, revealing a few tricks she had up her sleeve all along. And also, lay bare a few critical weaknesses in its adversary.
Oh,
Making a
no.
hybrid doesn't mean automatically combining the best traits of both with no trade-offs. For every strength you add, you also add weaknesses. And because the dinosaurs and creatures in the
He's
Jurassic
thought of
series are
everything.
real animals, we can use real-life biology. After all, the Indominus Rex's fantastic ability to change color isn't something out of fantasy, like Godzilla's atomic breath, but because it has similar skin to a cuttlefish that can do that in reality. For starters, let's take a look at what we understand to be Hank's composition. Base body frame of a modified Spinosaurus, combining other entire genome sets, such as that of the Indominus, Scorpius Rex, and an entire legion of animals, many from different classes. At least 20 species, and who knows what else is in there too. Recall what Dr. Wu said to Masrani.
You cannot have an animal with exaggerated predator features without the corresponding behavioral traits.
A Therizinosaurus, Spino, and Pistol Shrimp might be used to fighting with their arms, but even more animals on the list didn't. T-Rex, Giga, Dinosuchus, and a bunch of wimpy-armed Abelisaurus. Hank's
there
instincts
it
on how
is.
to fight with its arms is going to be messed with. It would be every neural problem the Scorpius Rex had, but amplified.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Some additives
conflicting
like the chameleon
things.
would actually hinder it. Giving Hank movable eye stalks like the chameleon would mess with its binocular vision from T-Rex genes. And it would compromise its own camouflage from the cuttlefish. Turns out pop culture lied here. Chameleons are not actually masters of disguise as you may think. A few types can
I
change
called
color
it!
to hide, but most of the time these lizards reactively change color to show emotion. Mix in
Yeah, see? I said it in the last video. I said that chameleons were basically emotional lizards. He should have just went with the cuttlefish. Goji guy, I'm sorry, but Hank is going down just from that alone. You can't emote your way through life.
the chaotic mind of the Scorpius on top of everything else, and Hank would be lighting itself up like a neon sign instead of using its camo like the Indominus
I mean,
could.
unless
This
it's
is
planning
precisely why
to
the total number of
use
species in the Indominus
Caesar
2.0 genome was
strategy.
kept small. See for yourself. Base Indominus had at least 13 total confirmed contributors to its genome. Indom 2.0 only has 9 confirmed. Reducing the number of contributors in turn increases congruity, meaning each individual component works together and lessens split instincts.
Yeah.
But is less actually more? We think so. With a
Well, it
quadrupedal stance
depends.
and lacking raptor-like
I mean,
feet
there's
or
a
a sail,
balance
the
there.
2.0 would be a lot more stable than the top-heavy and seemingly less balanced Hank. Based on their frames alone, if they get in a wrestling match, the Indom is less likely to go down first. To make this as fair as possible, we're going to ignore the fact that Indom 2.0 can reproduce clones of itself extremely fast via parthenogenesis, thanks to the whiptail
one-on-one
lizard
fight.
producing an army of these animals. So we'll keep this to a 1v1 discussion.
Yep,
but even
that's
with
a fair
this,
fight.
You'll find that it will be getting easier for the Indom. How? Let's compare their jaws. Despite their tiny size, shrews use their jaws in a manner not that much different than Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah,
With
that's
iron-reinforced
a
teeth and
dirty
strong
shrew.
bite force,
That's
they
a
chop
dirty
right
rat.
through armored exoskeletons, tough scales, and mulch bone. Their method of biting down, where they crunch and thrash, works very well in conjunction with the T-Rex, who did almost the same thing. What about the Dunkleosteus-fueled bite of Hank? It all comes down to bite mechanics. Yes, Dunkleosteus has a very famous bite, but it is an attribute that the internet and pop culture have massively flubbed. PSI, or pounds per square inch, is not a very reliable way to measure biting force unless you are very careful about what you're doing. This is why some reported biting forces from this armored fish are as low as 1,000 PSI to an obscenely huge 80,000. These
Wow,
mostly come from bad
that's a
reporting
big
and
biter.
not actual research work. This is why scientists that study how animals use their jaws rely on other measurements, like newtons. This may come as a bummer for most of you, especially the creators of Hank, but scientific research on the infamous fish determined it had a jaw strength of only around 4,000 to 7,000 newtons. That might sound like a lot, but in reality, that's half the force of a great white shark. Instead of
Youch.
chomping down, the dunk was built more for having its mouth open quickly to suction feed on small prey
And
then
slice
bite
in
down
half.
quickly to carve into more medium-sized game. The findings of one Dunkleosteus that was attacked by another also shows this shearing bite failed to penetrate the thick armor on the fish, meaning the full-body bony armor of the Indom 2.0, courtesy from the dwarf croc, would actually resist a lot of Hank's bite. But why not factor in the bite force of the other contributors in Hank's genome, like T-Rex? Surely that will pierce the Indom's hide, right? The bites of the Dunk and the Rex are the perfect example of why animals either bite down hard and crunch, or they can open their mouth wide and bite down exceptionally fast. Can't have both. Trying to put
no.
T-Rex force behind a Dunk jaw can result in the poor thing smashing its own face.
Ah!
Okay, but surely
So
those
it's biting
overpowered arms
itself
wielded
to
by
death.
Hank can punch Indom 2.0 into oblivion with hundreds of tons of force. Well, let's find out. One of Hank's killer apps to try to make it the killer of 2.0 was one of the most innocuous-looking creatures in the ocean. Pistol shrimp are an entire family of small crustaceans
I'm
with a
surprised
very
he didn't use the
specialized
mantis
snapping
shrimp.
mechanism in their arms. By cocking back one claw, they are able to force water into a chamber and then explosively convert the captured water into steam to make a bubble that snaps with an average of over 700 newtons of force. An impressive adaptation for both hunting small game and defending themselves, especially given that sound is much stronger underwater than it is in the air. Taking this
Yeah, like
mechanism
I
and its
said,
striking
what
power
about the
out
air?
of the water and applying this to a dinosaur will likely work against Hank. Doubling this
Oh,
mechanism
boy.
in size doesn't double strength. Now Hank has to worry about moving the weight of its hands much faster. And add in that water is nearly 1,000 times denser than air, and any weapon that produces pressure waves is far less powerful in the air than in the water. So up here, this snapping, or punching, will be outright impossible. And if it was, well, not to bore you with the math, but Hank's shrimp-fueled striking force would be around 16,145 newtons. Remember that the huge forces of the pistol shrimp are not about strength, but how the physics of water work. But let's throw water physics out of the window, and let's say that these hands strike with said hundreds of tons of force. Unless Hank's shoulders are made of vibranium, the blowback would shatter its own arms even if it missed.
That's a
Dinosaur arms
Deku.
aren't meant to do these things at this scale, and
Hank?
honestly, you can't expect them to.
You should have
Hank would
trained with
disarm itself on
Saitama.
day one upon using
It is
this
not
striking force on
Oh,
practically
Hank,
anything
you're
before
killing
it goes up
yourself,
large enough
man.
to fight the 2.0. So far, we have an animal with a shattered face, broken forearms, self-inflicted by the way, and now it's the perfect time we bring up something Hank's creators may have forgotten about.
Oh no. The steer! Ah! It has tools!
Hank had some pretty tough animals in the genome, like the Giga, Indom, and Spino.
It's
but
just
none
a
of them
salad.
are particularly armored nor
No.
really resistant to stabs, much less getting a sharpened metal pole shoved into them. Even if facing against the one-punch man of hybrids, the Indom 2.0's tool use, dexterity,
More
and
like the
grappling would
Deku
give her plenty of
dinosaur.
means to strike back, including at range. Recall that the great ape genome and hand augmentations allow the Indom to make use of these effectively and with purpose. But if we're going to stick solely on weapons that aren't laying around on the floor, another one of Hank's defense mechanisms comes into play. In nature, one of the most common defenses and offenses are poison and venom. Hank comes into the fray with a modification to the oil-producing glands it has across its skin, producing a toxin that causes what is technically called intravascular coagulation. This can cause nasty blood clots if in big doses, and one snake, the Russell's viper, even uses it as a chief component in its venom. The problem? Hank got handed the wrong poison for the wrong job.
Oh no!
These two? We didn't cover this in the Indominus 2.0's Rampage Across Isla Nublar, but we didn't forget about Dr. Wu's first hybrid. The Scorpius Rex would be rampant enough to pick a fight against the Indom 2.0, so we'd give our hybrid a hidden edge if it ever went up against another toxic opponent. And boy did it show up. It's a little-known fact, a favorite food of crocodilians just so happens to be snakes, including highly venomous vipers. Able to section off parts of their bloodstream to avoid circulating the toxins too far with strong antibodies, crocs can tank bite after bite from toxic prey with often little effect. And short-tailed shrews aren't just venomous in their own right, they shrug off most poisons. Their own venom can cause rapid blood coagulation
so it's poison-proof.
and worse than many snakes.
I mean, it's not only
they are immune to their own
to the plague,
toxic elements
not even poison can kill it.
Add in a hyperactive metabolism that can break down blood clots and purge toxins very quickly, and
may
it's
you
a
rest
big
in
pair of
pieces.
reasons why shrews are also known to hunt and kill snakes many times their size. So, in other words, Hank's main defense wouldn't do anything to the Indom 2.0. Blood clots just couldn't affect it enough. Ironically, especially since this was sold off as the peak survivability trait that would deter any future opposition against Hank, tardigrade traits in this case will cause huge drawbacks. Tardigrades are legendary for their ability to survive radiation, heat, and cold when in their dormant state. The key to this are the gel-like proteins that surround their cells called CAHS proteins. This gel can spare the cell from a lot of things, but it can't stop toxins that attack the connections between the cells. And coincidentally, this is exactly how the neural toxin in the shrew venom works in addition to blood clotting. In fact, giving more proteins around the cells just gives more for the venom to work off of. And this is something that can't be averted. Get the tardigrade perks.
You guys were right about how we all knew that Hank wouldn't have
laying bare the critical weaknesses of Hank, it's now safe to say that without even changing a single thing to the 2.0's genome or lifting a single finger, Indom 2.0 remains undefeated. Furthermore, Hank's overpowered jaw and hands disarmed itself before it could even step in the fighting ring. He did this to himself.
And decoed himself
However,
to death.
To the merit of Hank's creators, this is a fantastic design as a monster. With just raw force or some tweaks, Hank could stand his ground against the 2.0 and actually have a good shot at winning. Its visible adaptability to swimming and being adept to most terrains, truly horrifying appearance, and malevolent nature is truly something that we at Goji HQ appreciate and would look forward to featuring on the channel again. But here on Goji Center, we are not cooking up 3.0 to counter it. 2.0 is lethal enough. For now, though, Indom 2.0 has other problems to worry about. Much bigger problems.
Which we'll be watching later on. But yeah, this begins the war. Let's see, this... Indoraptor Dailier. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one, but we'll check that out as soon as we're done. But we are going to have a look at Behemoth. Or Samson. Cause the Kaiju community, bring me forth me notifications. Oh, it's silence. I accept your challenge.
I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse.
ladies and gentle soars. Today, we will be interrupting our regularly scheduled Spec Evo programming to bring you something special. For those of you who
He was
watch
doing a
Goji Center,
project,
one of my favorite
but he
channels
was
with big
like, "Oh
inspiration
no,
of my own,
I
you've
heard the
probably
call."
seen this video of theirs where they redesigned the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. And you may have also seen Goji Guy's video about creating his own hybrid dinosaur to take on
no.
the Indominus 2.0. Which Goji Center promptly
do a video-
eviscerated without even changing theirs.
I don't
And it
know.
was
I
just
have to
moments
make
after
a
finishing this video
hybrid.
when I realized Goji Guy went about it the wrong way. The perfect counter to a super carnivore isn't another super carnivore.
Oh.
It's a super herbivore. When we think about conflicts between animals, more often than not, we're thinking predator versus
There's
prey.
logic there.
Not so much predator versus predator. For what is T-Rex without Triceratops? The cheetah without the gazelle? Or the lion without the buffalo? Not only am I going to create this hybrid with fewer species than Goji Center used to create theirs, just 7, I'm not going to use any dinosaurs or predators at all. In fact, I am going to double down on my channel's well-established mammal bias and prove mammalian supremacy by using
No,
only
scales
mammalian
are
prey,
superior!
or at least mammals that aren't really meat eaters, with one exception. And by now, you've probably also noticed some biblical themes in this video.
I mean,
and
yes.
This is because Goji Center quoted the Bible in their video, specifically some
Yeah,
bits
we
of
saw
Mark
that.
5:9, my name is Legion, for we are many. This suggests that the Indominus 2.0 and its offspring are demons. And to take on demons, we must levy righteousness. Also,
Bible.
because I've been itching to make a video with some biblical themes, and this was the perfect excuse to do so.
Whom shall I
Okay, the
send?
genome.
And who will go for us?
Goji Center, in their latest community post as of me making this video, have told us that the purpose of the Indominus 2.0 was to be a primarily terrestrial animal with the capability to bring down all life forms, big and small, reproduce quickly, and cause a localized extinction event. And we see in their initial video
Yeah,
that the Indominus 2.0 is a
carrying
vector
the
for many
plague.
diseases. And one of these diseases has the potential to rapidly evolve to transmit to humans and presumably wipe out millions of people. In our scenario, all mammals, birds, and reptiles carry the Indominus plague, and it has mutated so much that every breath any one of these animals takes spreads the disease into the air and onto surfaces, and human civilization is rapidly nosediving towards extinction. The creation of our hybrid starts with a team of top geneticists working under a coalition of world governments who've so far survived the Indominus plague by hiding in an underground
yes.
compound located
Yeah,
on
that's
a
gonna
remote
be a
tropical
movie
island
if
in
they
Malaysia.
if
Our
they
geneticists were
decided
tasked
to.
with creating an animal that could challenge
If
the
word
Indominus
gets
2.0
out.
without human intervention. Unlike InGen, they had no access to dinosaur DNA. They could only work with living tissue samples and some Pleistocene mammal DNA seized from Masrani Global not long after the bankruptcy of the company following the events of 2015. Their goal was to maximize strength, power, and efficiency while using as few different animals as possible in order to maintain congruence. The Paleoloxodon was the clear choice for the base. Simulations run by Goji Center themselves have already confirmed that the animal was capable of taking on theropod dinosaurs. Their tusks will be our
Yep.
hybrid's primary means of puncturing through the dinosaur's armor, while also serving as blunt force weapons, able to be swung back and forth like giant clubs, ensuring the Indominus can't rush our hybrid head-on without risk of serious injury or death. Elephants, especially bull males, are some of the most defensive and territorial creatures in the animal kingdom, and this alone will give our behemoth the confidence it needs to stand up to our enemy.
Yeah.
They sport the largest brain of any land mammal that we know of.
That is
Their intelligence
true.
would have
It
already
is a
been on
bigger
par,
animal.
if not higher than that of the Indominus 2.0.
The only
at
thing
least
bigger
with what
would
we
be
know of its
whales.
genome. This brain supports some very powerful senses. In ideal conditions, they can pick up on scents from as far as 12 miles away, making use of over 2,500 olfactory receptor genes. This is 5 times more than humans, and more than 3 times as many as T-Rex, the animal with the strongest sense of smell in the Indominus's genome. If, for whatever reason, it doesn't smell the hybrid carnivore, they will certainly be able to hear or even feel her coming before she even has a chance to strike. Elephants can detect infrasonic sounds from anywhere between 2 and 6 miles away, depending on surrounding conditions. Their highly sensitive feet pads
Yep.
allow them to communicate via sending and receiving low-frequency rumbles through the ground. With some
And
studies
it's
suggesting they
interesting
can
that
do
the
this over
T-Rex
several
was able to
kilometers.
sense
Needless
it for
to say,
sound.
our hybrid will know where several Indominus are before any of them know where they are.
Oh, this is
Their
gonna be a
trunks can lift
war.
up to 500
Like nothing
kilograms
ever
or
seen.
1100 pounds, around 6 to 10.
Mutant elephant versus mutant dinosaur. Who would win?
Percent of their body weight. Even stronger are their necks, being able to lift at least their own body weight in tandem with their tusks. Using a 2024 estimate for the largest Paleoloxodon, the ancient
Okay, let's have
elephant
a...
was about 4.5 meters.
Okay, let's see. Indominus 2.0, length 43 feet, 18 feet tall, 10 tons. That's a big dino. And then we got the base Paleoloxodon, 43 feet long, accounting for the tongue and the trunk and tusks, 18 feet long. 18 tons. Pretty much on par.
Tall, 6 to 7 meters long, excluding their tusks, and weighed no more than 18 tons or 16,000 kilograms. The skull of Paleoloxodon nemidicus comes equipped with a large bony boss structure on the top of their head that serves as an attachment for neck muscles, making it likely even stronger by proportion. Given that the scaling of size and strength is not a direct one-to-one correlation, we'll say that the elephant, at minimum, can lift 9 tons or half its body weight, which means Paleoloxodon can already lift more than half the weight of its adversary. While this is impressive, the ancient elephant can't stand
the base
hybrid demon
mammoth.
upgrades. It needs to
Yes,
be bigger,
I'm calling it a
and what
mammoth
better choice
because
for increasing
it works.
size than the largest animal of all time, the blue whale.
Now, we're not gonna just straight up make it the same size of the blue whale, but
If the blue whale gene
that's gonna be
increases
really
the size of our
difficult.
hybrid and is carefully selected for efficacy, our elephant is now 8.2 meters tall and 11 meters long. This immense weight, combined with the sturdy and high center gravity of the Paleoloxodon, would make any attempts to push this animal over by the Indominus downright impossible. However, this size comes with some complications. We need the cardiovascular system to support this massive upscaling.
Yeah.
A blue whale's lungs and heart are twice the size of the elephant's in proportion to their body. We will be taking the whale's robust heart and lungs, as well as their flexible rib cage and pleural cavity
That's
to
gonna
make
be
room for
helpful.
their action. We will also be using their large and robust liver, which won't make sense now, but it'll come up later. Secondly, this is far too much weight for a mammal this size, mostly because of the skeletal structure of the Pleistocene elephant.
Yeah,
But we
I'm
don't
guessing we're
actually
gonna
need
shorten
anything
the
from whale
legs.
to fix this. There's another animal later down the line that'll help us, but for now, we can use the
Wait.
same gene editing technology to simply increase the thickness of our hybrid's bones by 1.5
Yep.
to 2 times to compensate, even with
Yeah.
a doubling in mass.
Yep, and proportionally, that means that we'll be shortening the legs. That makes a lot of sense.
Their skin is just not going to be thick enough to hold up to the claws of the Indominus. A cornerstone for many of the animals that large theropods hunted in the Mesozoic is armor, and among mammals, there's really only one clear choice for this: the Glyptodon. Their armor was the thickest of
There
any
is
known
also
mammal.
the giant
Armadillos,
sloth,
a modern
but-
relative of theirs with similar, albeit much smaller, bony shells, have sometimes deflected or slowed down small caliber bullets like .22 long rifle or even 9mm from a distance.
Yeah, that's great.
However, if we simply throw
Why
a
are you
unit-sized
shooting armadillos?
Glyptodon shell over our hybrid, it's not going to be able to move very well.
Yeah, you're gonna
And a big
have to
part of the
spread that
Paleoloxodon
armor
being able to defeat
around
the
different
T-Rex in
areas.
Goji Center's video was its mobility, and we can't afford to sacrifice too much of that here. We'll have to selectively apply this armor in
Yeah,
segments.
there you go.
directly on the back,
Segmented
top, neck,
like samurai
shoulders, sides,
armor.
and flanks. We'll be leaving the underside without armor, not only because the Glyptodons didn't have any there, but also because if the Indominus 2.0 tries to go for this underside, they would put themselves in danger of being trampled.
So it's a
by.
trap.
Now, in terms of thickness, we'll cover critical areas like the neck, flanks, and sides with the thickest of armor, which, if reasonably scaled up with our hybrid, shouldn't exceed more than 8 centimeters. Less critical areas like the shoulders, thighs, and back will be no thicker than 5 to 6 centimeters. We will also be incorporating the Glyptodon's armored club tail, combining this with some of the DNA of the whale to give us a long, rigid armored tail that can be swung with
So
some
basically it's
respectable
got the
force.
ankylosaur
this
tail
suit of
now.
armor should serve sufficient for deflecting our enemy's attacks. The Indominus won't be able to properly mount the animal like it can with sauropods due to the dense and round surface of their armor, and the same goes for their bone-crushing bites. Even with the wide gaping maw of the hybrid carnivore, the broad surface of the armor would make it difficult for it to apply its bone-crushing bite. Not to mention that the highest forces their bite can produce can only be applied by the back teeth, not by the front. The fourth species we'll be taking DNA from is the Megatherium, or the giant
Yep,
ground
I was
sloth,
wondering
and
where
not for the
the
reasons you
sloth
may
is
think.
gonna come into play.
Megatherium had incredibly powerful limbs, front and back. While they used their forelimbs to grab onto the trunks and branches of the trees they fed on, massive hind limbs worked in tandem with an extended, sturdy calcaneus bone to hold up their
Okay,
bulky bodies. I want these powerful limbs, and more importantly, I want this heel bone. In Goji Center's T-Rex vs. Paleoloxodon,
No one ever talks about the heel bone. Okay, you forget that it has literally took down a Brachiosaurus in Goji's. That is true. It did, but there's also the armor that it has accounted for. Why not base the elephant off the giant elephant from Lord of the Rings? That is a fictional elephant, so that you can't exactly base reality off of fiction. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool idea, but I don't think that's how it works. But let this guy cook. Let him cook. He's already got some cool ideas.
On video, the large elephant finishes the theropod off by rearing up its hind legs and bringing all of its weight down
and
into
crushing
its ribs.
him.
At our current size and weight, that would be almost impossible. But if we give our hybrid the limb strength to push all of its body weight off the ground, as well as the balance of the heel bone, it can come right back down and crush the dinosaur like an anvil on a pumpkin. And just to add insult to injury, while I can't give our massive proboscidean the ability to knuckle walk, I can enhance the little nubby toes on the front to be more formidable claws that will leave the hybrid demon with no chance at an
And it'll add
casket.
traction.
Tusks are a great weapon, but with all that size, I'd be foolish not to enhance their ability to deliver pure blunt force trauma. For this, I have decided on the bighorn sheep as our 5th species. Now, I know. Why this instead of something with more forward-facing
why
horns
a
like a
sheep?
buffalo?
It's not
because this
exactly
lamb has
gonna
more
be
to offer than
jumping.
just horns. When placed on the hybrid, the ram horns will actually serve as protection for our elephant's ears. This will make it harder for the Indominus to get a hold of the elephant's big vulnerable ears, as well as narrow the
Makes
path
sense.
to access their throat. Secondly, the thick, layered, shock-absorbing cranium of the sheep will increase the amount of force this animal can take to the skull tenfold. And lastly, the powerful rear legs of the bighorn sheep are designed to provide quick bursts of power, as well as redirect force from headbutts into the ground, further augmenting the shock absorption and the limb strength of our hybrid, and ideally also giving us a slight boost in speed. For our
Okay, just a little thought in my head. Wouldn't that kind of counteract the instinct to use the tusks instead of the horns? I mean, which is the elephant gonna be using more often? The tusks or the horns? I mean, they can't exactly have two instincts conflicting with each other. It's definitely a cool idea, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure Goji Center's got an answer, probably gonna use that.
6th creature, we have the solution to our disease problem. Fruit
Oh.
bats. It's commonly known that bats are the carriers of untold numbers of diseases, including some of the deadliest viruses, rabies, Ebola, SARS, and many more. Bats very rarely show symptoms of these diseases that they carry, which is actually still a mystery to scientists today, but is presumed to be because of its ability to limit inflammation. This trait from the bat, and our size-induced high body temperature, will make it very hard for the Indominus plague to affect our hybrid, even though they will certainly be carriers of it. I had thought about using domestic pigs instead of bats because they're pretty
Why not
resistant
rats?
to diseases, but even more so resistant to venom. But after running some math, shrew venom, even in massive doses which the Indominus might deliver, would probably have no effect on a creature our size, but if a theoretical lethal dose was achieved by the Indominus, our hybrid's sheer size and elevated body temperature would rapidly break down the shrew venom's enzymes before they could achieve their full effect. Which brings us to our 7th animal, and the one species where the geneticists abstained from using only mammals, the scaly-footed gastropod. This deep-sea snail has a
the
few
fire
edges
snail.
up its shell that will bring the rest of the hybrid's genome and traits into harmony. First, these gastropods don't eat anything. Instead, they intake hydrogen sulfides from the deep-sea volcanic vents that they live around. This is because they have a symbiotic relationship with gamma proteobacteria that will process and break down these chemicals in order to feed the gastropod internally, while a portion of it is processed into iron sulfides like pyrite and greigite. These materials move through the bloodstream of the deep sea.
Okay, why not give the hybrid some smarts off the dolphin since they're smart enough to outsmart predators like sharks? I mean, there's already plenty of intelligence from the elephant-based genome, so there's already a lot of brain power. So I don't know. Elephants are already pretty smart already. So So don't discount the elephant just yet on IQ. There's intelligence in there.
Snail to their shell, which vastly enhances its strength, giving them some of, if not the strongest armor of any living creature in the animal kingdom. We will be taking this bacteria and placing it within the stomach and esophageal glands of
But
our
how
hybrid,
you gonna
as well
feed
as traits
it?
from the gastropod to make our animal able to process the waste in order to receive energy from it. But how will our hybrid get a hold of enough hydrogen sulfides
Yeah,
to feed these bacteria?
that's a good
since
question.
They won't be near any deep sea volcanic
No, it's
vents.
not exactly a
Waterlogged
swimmer.
sediments are very high in iron and hydrogen sulfides. Our hybrid will be eating a lot of this muck in order to feed the bacteria
So
in their
mud
stomachs.
is what
The
it's gonna be
hybrid circulatory
eating.
system will distribute these iron sulfides to various parts of the body by means of specialized macrophages synthesized in the bone marrow, which will transport and bind them to the cells of their bones, dentin, and keratin, and yes, that includes the keratin in their skin. These carefully placed microscopic bonds will reinforce all of these tissues, increasing their fracture resistance, tensile, and compressive strength by anywhere between 30 and 50%. This is why I mentioned the whale liver earlier on, as it's gonna need some serious waste filtering power. If we mix our hybrid mammalian liver with the properties of the gastropod's hepatopancreas, it should be able to handle it.
Though iron sulfides are brittle on their own, when combined with these structural tissues, he would be even stronger than the iron bone composite seen in the teeth and claws of the Indominus 2.0.
That's
on the Mohs
gonna-
scale, iron has a hardness of about 5, while pyrite has a
That they not just have intelligence but have human emotions? I don't know. No. Elephants you actually use tools. They know how to they break into houses to get grain. They're actually pretty smart. Don't discount them, Alpha. I see you.
hardness of around 6.5, rendering our adversary's ironclad weapons drastically less effective.
A huge problem our hybrid is going to have with all of its biological processes and its size is body heat. The more we scale up our elephant,
And that's
the
gonna
less
be where
surface
the
area
snail
he has
comes
to
into play
dissipate its
again,
heat.
isn't
Given
it?
that it's an endothermic animal, this is going to be a serious problem. Unless we give it traits from the snail that will allow it to better tolerate this internal heat. The scaly-footed gastropod is an extremophile, living around deep-sea volcanic vents where they can tolerate a maximum temperature of 120 degrees Celsius or 248 degrees Fahrenheit. This is
And
thanks
it's-
to
and
specialized
I'd
heat-shock
imagine that
proteins
body
and
temperature is
enzymes
gonna be
adapted
burning.
to maintain cellular function at high temperatures. Including these proteins and enzymes in their body should squash any concerns about body heat. Modern elephant calves take anywhere between 18 to 22 months to gestate in their mother's wombs. And if we want our hybrid to have any chance of reproducing in the presence of a population of Indominus 2.0, this will just simply not do. The scaly-footed gastropod, of course, does not give birth to live young like most mammals do. They instead will lay hundreds
It
of
lays
eggs at
a
time.
bunch of eggs.
So, instead of gestating, our hybrid will lay large amounts of eggs like the snail, prioritizing the quantity of offspring, being probably no larger than a rabbit upon hatching.
There better be marsupial DNA of some sort. Or at least, or maybe platypus DNA? I don't know. It better be marsupial at least.
Now, hatching that small, it would take well over 50 years to reach full size. However, within the Jurassic Cinematic Universe, even non-hybrid dinosaurs are modified to reach maturity rapidly. According to the Masrani global marketing website from back in 2015, the first InGen animals were cloned in 1986, and the first mature dinosaurs were moved from Sorna to Nublar in 1988. So, the technology to rapidly accelerate the growth of animals without hybridizing has already been established. So I see no problem in applying this to our mammalian behemoth to achieve similar numbers. Sea
Okay.
snails are capable of mating with each other or self-fertilizing at the expense of genetic diversity, very similar to the parthenogenesis of their demonic adversary. With the genome for humanity's last chance against the Indominus 2.0 sequenced, the geneticists of the Coalition raise a herd of these animals and prepare them to exorcise these demons from Isla Nublar.
Look now at the behemoth. His bones are like beams of bronze, his ribs like bars of iron.
Introducing the
Funny
Deus,
that quote
a
comes into
perfect
play,
hybrid
'cause there
behemoth
is a
to
bit of
vanquish
iron in
this
there.
demon that possesses the ruins of Isla Nublar. And just as Goji Guy gave his creation a name, I will also give mine a name. The savior of human civilization and of Isla Nublar, Samson. At full size, not including his tusks, Samson is 10 meters or 32.8 feet long. He is 8.2 meters or 27 feet tall, almost 6 meters wide, and weighs 83 US tons, or over
83
75,000
tons?
kilograms. Samson and just one other Diciotherium named Delilah were produced in the lab via artificial wombs and raised in the underground facility. They were fed an extremely high-calorie, viscous, and frozen blend of foods called manna, enriched with crystallized hydrogen sulfide to strengthen their bones and armor. While growing up, they were subject to many tests, including durability and combat tests. He was fired upon with bullets of increasing caliber, starting with .22 long rifle all the way up to .308 Winchester, and all rounds failed to penetrate his armor. When Samson was about the size of a pickup truck, he was put into a shoving match with an armored M1114 Humvee, not only matching the vehicle's power output, but also aggressively goring the vehicle and piercing its steel armor plates in various spots well after the experiment had concluded. The Diciotherium's capacity for herding behavior was proven early on when Samson and Delilah could not go long without being near each other, and when they were moved from their paddock to other parts of the facility, one would hold the other by the tail, much like modern Indian elephants do. The two hybrids stayed in this facility until they exceeded the size of an adult African elephant. They were supposed to stay for longer, but by the time they had reached this size, the facility could no longer make enough manna for the elephants to continue growing. They were sent to the surface of the island and observed using drones and trail cams, while efforts to find a cure for the Indominus plague fruitlessly continued. The size and many complex biological processes of these animals made their hunger insatiable, and they began to devour any and all plants in sight, eating trees whole, and even digging their roots out from the ground with their massive toe claws. The Diciotherium had consumed nearly the entire island, leaving behind a barren wasteland of rock and dirt. In this time frame, the first two elephants had reached what was assumed to be their full size, and produced over 147 offspring, which were the only hatchlings that grew past 3.5 months of over 12,600 eggs laid by their parents. 80 of these offspring were between the ages of 4 and 5, and were already as large or exceeded the size estimates for Paleoloxodon. Trail cams show that once the first of their offspring reached around 2 years old, Samson and Delilah allowed them to join their herd, and became very protective of them when trail cams emitted recordings of Tyrannosaurus vocalizations. This was enough for the generals of the coalition.
Oh, this
to be
is
satisfied.
yeah.
You know,
They were
was enough
training
for
them.
23
Watch out for the Indom.
including the original two, onto a large automatic
Desert Eagle gun that can pack up
them, as well as massive
I
stores
mean,
of mana,
automatic
off a major
rifles are
7-week
more
journey to
powerful
Eastern
than a
Front.
Desert Eagle. That's a pistol. Okay, now here comes the fight.
We have terms.
We have terms.
Then the unclean spirits went out and entered the swine, and the herd ran violently down the steep place into the sea, and drowned in the sea.
Upon reaching the shores of Isla Nublar, the landing craft beached itself and automatically opened its massive front door. Samson was the first to come running out, immediately tossing up sand and trumpeting with excitement, followed by Delilah and their offspring.
Finally
Though he didn't
getting
know
out of
any
the
better,
ocean.
Samson's excitement attracted unwanted attention. The Indominus comes rushing out from the tree line and stops for a moment to observe this strange creature. She's never seen anything like Samson, but she's also hungry, and food is scarce. This strange, large, glistening animal looks like a tough nut to crack, but if she can manage to kill it, it'll be enough to feed her and her young for days. So how would a one-on-one between these two
Okay,
go?
here we
Well,
go.
Not that I'm biased or anything, I'm pretty sure Samson wins about 8 times out of 10.
Yeah,
He can
there's
lift
some
almost her
bias.
body weight
How?
with his trunk alone, and 3 times her body weight with his neck and tusks. If the Indominus managed to somehow get on top of Samson, it would be extremely difficult for her to be up there for very long without slipping off, since even her iron claws wouldn't give her traction on his composite armor. She wouldn't be able to scratch at his neck and back like she does with sauropods for the same reason. Trying to exploit what weak spots Samson does have, like his limbs, underside, and trunk, effectively puts her in a kill zone. Going for his trunk, she either gets gored, bludgeoned, or tossed by 83 tons of mammal. Going for his limbs or underside, she's one step away from all that weight being brought down on her, disabling if not killing her instantly. I say 8
Okay,
times
yeah,
out of 10
he's-
because
there's
there are
a-
2 scenarios where
there's
I see
a
lone
360
Indominus killing
defense.
Samson. The first is using her speed and intelligence to wear him down, baiting him to attack and burn energy while striking wherever she can. But this would
Okay.
probably take hours and wear her out as well. The second is if the Indominus has one of these convenient,
A sharpened metal pole.
a well-placed thrust to the chest or eye socket would kill Samson. Now, of course, 2 or 3 Indominus 2.0 could certainly take down one Diciotherium, but even then the Diciotherium
But then
would
there's
very
the
rarely
social
be alone.
group.
It's a herd animal, and each member of said herd is a walking arsenal. Even if Samson can take on Goji Center's Indominus 2.0 in a one-on-one fight, what are the long-term effects of Diciotherium being introduced to Isla Nublar? What was the Coalition's goal? The larger goal wasn't to win the 1v1, though we certainly could. The creation of Samson was a race against time to support the Indominus 2.0's population before they died off. You see, the Indominus 2.0 is the only species on the planet that has natural immunity to the Indominus plague, and given that they multiply so quickly, it was only a matter of time before Isla Nublar was devoid of any life. The hybrids
So
resorting
making
to
a
eating each
prey
other and
animal
eventually going extinct.
is what they're
And with
going
them,
for?
humanity's only hope for a cure. Attempts to create a vaccine from tissue samples of these dinosaurs were largely unsuccessful, mostly because acquiring said samples was so dangerous, but also because the DNA of the Indominus 2.0 was too mixed-matched and not congruent enough to make a vaccine for humans from. This is why using mostly mammals for our hybrid was so important. The Diciotherium had 2 different goals while on Isla Nublar, the first of which was to eat any and all plant life to support their incredibly demanding metabolisms, destroying the ecosystem from top to bottom, and by proxy killing off any other animals that could potentially be a vector for the Indominus plague. The second goal is to provide a food source for the Indominus 2.0 for just long enough to build up an immunity to the Indominus plague. As a result of the Diciotherium eating their way through the island, the resident hybrid carnivores won't have any choice but to hunt the Diciotherium. We're designed to be just durable and challenging enough of a prey item, but not so impossible to kill that they won't try to hunt them. They can hear and smell them coming and relocate before the carnivores even know they're there, and if they do manage to face a Diciotherium, the herd has strength in numbers, and physically are very difficult to take down. They won't fail to kill a Diciotherium every time, but they will fail enough times to slowly start dwindling in population as the hybrid elephants continue to grow in population. As the herds get larger and more common, it will become increasingly difficult for them to get a meal, and they may even resort to eating their own young, as well as each other to stay alive. But their end is already written. Samson has already won, and humanity by proxy.
Alright!
So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone, and struck the Philistine and killed him. But there was no sword in the hand of David.
When most life on the island was gone, save for some Diciotherium, humanity took what was left of themselves, as well as some materials to terraform it, back to Isla Nublar, and synthesized a vaccine from the Diciotherium that prevented both newborn humans and sheep from contracting or experiencing symptoms
Hooray!
of the Indominus plague. They will continue
The
to
world
work
is
toward bringing this
saved!
nasty plague to a heel for all animals, perhaps finding a way to aerosolize
Goji
it
Center,
and
if
spread
you
it
watch
across the
this,
earth. Samson
I think
himself
we got
was
another
nowhere to be found
contender.
upon arrival. Until one day, when surveying the island for places to build housing for the increasing population, Samson's skeleton, which was identifiable by the numbers on his horns, was found under the rubble of Jurassic World's Innovation
And
Center,
crushing
with
an
a long
Indom.
piece of broken paddock fencing between his ribs. Alongside him were the skeletons of 3 large Indominus Rex, with broken bones in various places. It was presumed that when Samson reared up to stomp on one of these predators, the Indominus pierced him with a large metal pole, and he fell on his back, bringing the old building down with him and killing them all.
Ain't that a poetic
So
way to
I started
go?
working on this video pretty much like an hour after Goji Center's video came out, and since then I've seen plenty of people coming up with their own hybrids to take on the Indominus
Oh yeah,
2.0.
so many. Now, moving on to...
The Ultima Imperatrix.
Okay, yeah, there... Now, Goji guy? What is your monster? Yes. Yes, cry. Yes, more
The
for your
hybrid war,
creation.
a Pandora's box I unknowingly opened when I created Hank as a joke counter to the Indominus.
Yes, you
2.0.
did!
And due to that video, many others have now entered into the war, quote unquote, trying to create the most powerful, lethal, and scariest hybrid. But one thing I've noticed
I
throughout all of
remember
them,
seeing a
every
Peregrine
single
Falcon
They all
hybrid.
have one issue: they're stuck on solid ground. Even if you take the top dogs of the hybrid war, the Indom 2.0, Hank, and put them into the water, while on land they're unstoppable, in the water, I wouldn't even have them pass a swordfish. So I thought, why not take this battle to the seas? The land animals can have fun up
But
there.
how you gonna
down
get
here,
the Indom
a new
to
era
the
of hybrids
ocean?
will be let loose. A battle much faster,
The
much darker,
Leviathan.
and much deadlier. Hello everyone, it's your host Goji Guy. and
Okay,
today I'm
so
stepping
we got
into the ring of the
Behemoth
hybrid
in
war and presenting
here,
a beast
and
so
then there's
fine-tuned,
Leviathan
it may,
here.
off the bat, be one of the strongest sea creatures the Earth has ever made. So with that in mind, hop into a submarine and buckle up. as we're going for a little dive.
That's in
Again,
my
hello everyone,
domain!
it's Goji
Shout
Guy
out!
and Van, as Hank had quite the domino effect. So before we get into the hybrid I made, I do want to break down a few things.
Oh,
that I have
yes,
in one way
it's
or
an
another wanted to
avalanche,
address.
all right.
Firstly, rules. Now, while the hybrid war isn't owned by me or Goji Center, there should be some set rules to keep it fun and thought-provoking. Firstly, that being your animal should be realistic. Now,
Yeah,
I know what you're thinking.
there you go,
Well, Goji Guy,
realistic.
that's rich coming from you. I mean, you saw what Hank did to himself. And my response? Yes. Yes, I did. There are two things that should be said, though. Firstly, I say in that video directly that Hank is a fictional beast, literally saying he's not meant for the real world. And secondly, it was Goji Center's response that started the whole realism aspect. Before Goji Center's response
That's
video,
true.
it was literally just
You
Hank
two
and Dom
both
2.0 and my few
set
hybrid
the
shorts.
standard.
So with the realism rule at play, I will be playing fair this time. But I'm also bringing this up because, yes, I've seen all your hybrids. I get tagged in them daily. But with that being said, some of you guys do take the easy route, making your dinosaur entirely fictional. So try to make
There's
something
a
unique and that could
cheap
actually possibly
D-Rex.
exist, as that is much more fun than an interdimensional ape with telekinetic powers that taps into monster brainwaves and takes in literal fictional aliens.
Yeah, that's very cheap.
Anyways, hey, script editing here. Literally, as I wrote the part you just heard, Goji Center released a post talking about the whole real animals only thing. So, yeah, just
Wait, hold on. Let me go back
ape
and
with
read
telekinetic
over here.
powers that taps into monster brainwaves and takes in literal fictional alien DNA.
That's cheap. Yeah,
Anyways,
fictional.
Hey, script editing here. Literally, as I wrote the part you just heard, Goji Center released a post.
Okay. Attention! Channel announcement incoming. Move aside, Legendary and Jurassic. The Great Hybrid War is here, and is just getting started. The Goji Center team will open a competition, allowing the participants to create their own fan-made hybrids in an attempt to take down Indom 2.0, soon to be renamed. Submissions will be in February of next year. After the 1-week submission window, the Goji Center team will select the top 20 submissions and discuss them one by one in a podcast video to determine which fan-made hybrid has the highest chance of taking down Goji Center's hybrid. More details about the man-made hybrid submissions will be released in the coming weeks. But to get your gears turning, here are a couple things to know. Think about. A single trace of kaiju DNA will get you disqualified, and your hybrid will be replaced in the Hall of Shame. Only real animals, extinct or extant, are allowed in the genome. That's your answer, Alpha. You asked about the elephants in Lord of the Rings. That's your answer. Only real animals. Submission rules guidelines will be released earlier next year. That said, work hard, start researching, and happy splicing the DNA.
Talking about the whole real animals only thing. So, yeah, just want to cover that. So, with
Okay. Do you think you should make a hybrid as possible new challenger and a new character for your channel voice? I'm gonna have to do a lot of research, and I'm gonna have to remove a few days of video making. But yeah, that's definitely gonna be an interesting. So I'm gonna have to find out what I should do. Maybe I'll make a dragon. My own equivalent dragon of some sorts. How would that work? I'll have to think about the biomechanics of a lot of things. But moving on!
that out of the way, make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up with the hybrid wars. And let's literally dive in. Now, firstly, this new hybrid needs a purpose, a reason to be let loose, as all hybrids do. And while normally I'd say to challenge the previous hybrids, well, this is the first ocean one, so there's really no one to fight. So, we'll be going for a species that
Yeah,
has been
how
running
are
the
you
oceans
gonna
for over
bring the Indom to the
450
water?
million years. These creatures are older than trees, older than the rings of Saturn, even older than coal on Earth.
The
We are
sharks?
talking about the most well-known fish in the ocean, sharks. Sharks have ruled the oceans for millions of years. Now, with that being said, why are we going for sharks? Well,
Based on the real animals?
Goji
That
said-
is
said
true,
should
I
have a
can
reason
do
to
that.
Make a hybrid. So, yeah, that's why. Now, this video is more just me finally making a hybrid for the hybrid war. And I mean, as you'll see at the end of this video, this guy will easily tear a shark apart. But this is just finally my actual entry into the whole war.
Oh, no, be a good
'Cause
little
Hank isn't
fellow now,
technically a
open
part of
the
it. He started
door.
it, but isn't in it.
I
As you'll
see
through
what
this
you
video,
did there.
We'll be creating the most streamlined, perfectly built killing machine ever. So,
I
with all that
understood
out of
that
the way,
reference.
I'm so happy to finally step into the hybrid war that Hank started. So,
Yeah.
let's dive in. As I present to you, the Velox Crystallis Adaptidus. So who do we start off
I'll
with?
just call
Who
it
will be our
Leviathan.
base? Well, for that, my friends, I picked two of the most successful ocean beasts the world has ever made. I present to you the orca.
Yeah. Logically, that would be a good choice.
Along with the orca, we have the Tylosaurus.
You could made a
So let's first cover
mosasaur
these
as
two
well,
alone are able to
but
do together. Starting with the orca's contributions. Firstly, intelligence. Orcas are among the smartest marine animals, capable of advanced problem solving and complex hunting strategies. This ensures the hybrid has a tactical advantage in the open oceans. They are so smart, in fact, even some of your land hybrids are at risk, as any of the Arctic hybrids that have been cooked up are at risk of being hunted by this beast.
And also, fun fact, I actually just realized a while back. If you look at the underside in mythology, it is said that Poseidon has blessed a dolphin for bringing his wife Amphitrite into marrying him. And that dolphin became a god and a constellation in the stars. And I have come to realize that the underbelly of the orca kind of resembles a certain divine symbol. If you guys want to have a look, hold on, let me go ahead and pull up real quick right here. Orca underbell. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, underbelly. Hang on. Hello? Images, please? Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Where's a good place to look under? Actually, this... Is there a better one? I think this... Okay. View image? Okay. Zooming in to this part right here. Look at this part right here. What does this look like? Don't worry, I'll wait. Yep. Just to save time, that is a trident. This is Poseidon's dolphin right here. You ever wonder why orcas rule the seas? That right there is why. Orcas belong to Poseidon. Yes, orcas have tridents. Yes, that orcas are marked by Poseidon himself. That's why they rule the seas. Alright, moving on. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I just realized that was a fascinating thing that no one really talks about.
Another scary evolutionary advantage the orcas have is their echolocation. Orcas use echolocation to navigate and hunt in dark or murky waters. So no matter where its prey
Makes
is,
sense.
the orca will show the true meaning of the term, you can run, but you can't hide. Another aspect the orca provides is hunting skills. And while this hybrid will be
If I
mostly
hear
learned,
you,
it'll still
I
have
will
the natural
still kill
hunting
you.
skills of an orca, along with its hunting precision, making this hybrid an effective lone hunter in the waters. And finally, from the orca's speed and agility. No duh. Orcas are fast. No, really, like really fast. On average, being able to reach a top speed of 34 miles an hour underwater. This provides the hybrid with incredible bursts of speed in pursuits or escapes. Now, onto the Tylo. The Tylosaurus is one of the most well-known marine reptiles of all time. And there's a good reason for it. These guys have gnarly bites and crazy bodies. So let's see what he brings to the table. The Tylosaurus firstly brings size and strength. Now, as you'll see, this hybrid won't stay big for too long, but this will provide our hybrid with a streamlined body and still immense strength no matter the size. He also adds on to the orca's already great hunting skills. Now,
But question about the swimming thing. How is the hybrid going to swim? Is it going to swim up and down or side to side? That's the real question.
giving it the skills and knowledge of an apex ambush predator. As a reptilian ambush predator, Tylosaurus traits give this little guy strength and efficiency in sudden attacks. Though there is one trait we'll be staying away from, that being the double-hinged jaw. Because as you'll see, firstly, we'll already make a devastating bite as is, but secondly, as you're about to hear, there are already plenty of issues that arise with these two being mixed. So we're gonna stray away from that one, as it would just be too difficult to fix. So together, these two beasts make one heck of a base, providing a balanced body of both speed and power. As the Orca's speed and agility, and combined with the Tyler's brute strength and size, creates a predator capable of both chasing prey over long distances and overwhelming them in close combat.
Yeah,
they also supply the hybrid with immense hunting versatility, as this hybrid can now excel in both ambush and active pursuit strategies, giving it the adaptability to dominate in various aquatic conditions. And finally,
so it's very adaptable in strategy.
Having the intelligence of an orca paired with the intimidation and strength of a Tylo, this hybrid already dominates in the water.
Boom!
But that's not to say it's flawless, as, trust me, many issues already arise. So let's tackle those. Firstly, and arguably most importantly, energy efficiency. Both orcas and Tylosauruses are powerful predators, but they require high energy levels to maintain their size and speed. This means the hybrid will burn through energy quickly, limiting its endurance during prolonged hunts or resource-scarce environments. Another massive issue is its durability and defense. Orcas and Tylos skins aren't exactly resistant to attacks compared to other armored creatures. The hybrid being vulnerable from sharp teeth or claws from rival predators. Another issue
how is that gonna work?
Conditions. Orcas prefer colder waters, while the Tylosaurus likely thrived in warm tropical seas. This mismatch could make the hybrid less adaptable to drastic temperature changes. Another issue that arises is precision in hunting. While orcas and Tylos are excellent predators, they lack the certain specialized hunting tools, like extreme jaw sharpness or hyper agility for catching smaller, faster prey. And finally, surface vulnerability, as the top of his body would be exposed, making it more vulnerable to ambush from above. So, how can
we better add some crocodile DNA to that.
Well, first up is a saltwater crocodile.
Or at least some very tough scales. Yep, I knew it! I called it! I didn't watch this before!
So why
this is one thing I did not see.
He helps with a lot of the issues, and also adds quite a bit
I
of
knew it!
So let's start with what he helps diminish. Firstly, heat tolerance. Crocodiles are well adapted to warmer climates, and can regulate their body temperatures effectively. This trait will help mitigate temperature sensitivity, which arises from combining animals adapted to cold waters, such as the orca, and others that you will see soon. Another issue the saltwater croc helps is in the defense department. The croc's tough, scaly skin is highly resistant to bites, claws, and really any form of physical impact, giving the hybrid exceptional defense against attacks. This solves the lacking armor issue from the original. And finally, energy efficiency. Crocodiles are highly energy efficient predators, capable of going long periods without eating, while conserving energy and—
Okay, by the way, if you want to create a hybrid-based dragon, two animals you can use to make some barracuda, mosasaurus, falcon, dolphin, anglerfish. I'm gonna have to re-examine those different animals there, cause that's gonna be, that's not exactly gonna be what I would use.
in more intense hunts later. This helps the hybrid survive during long periods of time with scarce food availability. So if and when this little guy has to migrate and doesn't know how she'll get her own food, she'll be fine not eating for a while. Now into the things that Croc boosts, the main one being ambush hunting skills. Saltwaters are well known for being masters in stealth and ambush, using bursts of immense strength to overwhelm and surprise their prey. This adds a new dimension to the hybrid's hunting strategy, making it effective at ambushing as well as chasing prey. And there's also three things that Croc adds. Those being bite, amphibiousness, and adaptability to water types. Firstly, the Croc's bite is a major part of this hybrid's power. Crocodiles have one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom. And this trait will enhance the hybrid's ability to crush prey
there's
and
definitely
penetrate through tough armor. And trust me, with the teeth we'll give her later, no matter who you are, you will not enjoy a bite from this girl. Next up is amphibiousness. Crocodiles thrive in shallow waters, which means the hybrid gains an advantage in environments where orcas and tylosauruses would struggle, adding a new environment for the hybrid to thrive in. And finally, adaptability.
But how
Despite the name, saltwater crocs can actually live fine in fresh water. This is due to their specialized salt glands, which helps them excrete salt when in marine environments. So taking their glands and applying it to our hybrid, that means our hybrid can thrive in all sorts of waters, from cold and warm, to clear and murky, to even fresh and salt. There is nowhere that is safe from this fella. So, the saltwater croc fixes the heat tolerance issue, defense, and energy efficiency. It also helps boost ambush skills, and adds a stronger bite, amphibiousness, and adaptability. Though, still, there's some issues that we need to cover. So next up on the roster, the barracuda.
Yeah, that'll probably add more armor or speed.
Next up is one of the most streamlined predators in the modern ocean, the barracuda, a lightning-fast, armor-plated nightmare of the deep. The Barracuda, despite its small size, is extremely crucial to this hybrid. So let's start with what he fixes. The main thing the Barracuda helps with is speed. While strong, the Orca and Tylo are not built for quick, sudden bursts of speed or tight maneuvering. Now, while the Croc already helped solve this, the Barracuda really stands it out and makes this hybrid a nightmare in the water.
It's definitely got the tail for
rapid
it.
acceleration helps this hybrid move faster, make sharp turns, and strike with extreme precision, making it harder for prey to escape. While small, he will greatly affect the hybrid's body, making him much more streamlined and greatly reducing his size from the likes of the Orca or the Tylo, though he'll still be a decent length. Reducing his overall size helps boost his agility and maneuverability. On to what this little guy boosts, that being hunting efficiency and attack speeds. Now, the issue with larger animals like the Orca is that they often rely on brute force, but that can burn energy quickly. So, the Barracuda's lightweight, hydrodynamic adaptations make the hybrid more energy efficient while attacking, allowing it to dart in, bite, and retreat with minimal effort before striking again. And now what he adds, that being some incredibly sharp teeth and great attack speeds. While the hybrid has a crushing bites thanks to the Croc and Orca, it needs slicing power for more versatile attack styles. The Barracuda's needle-like ultra-sharp teeth allow the hybrid to slice through flesh
And a bit of
dealing
saw-like
devastating wounds
teeth,
even
too.
without full force. This means it can injure its prey with quick strikes before finishing them off. And overall, we get an animal with now even...
Alright, hold on, let's see. Komodo, because you can use its saliva to make your prey weak and would easily slow kill. Narracuda would give your dragon speed or swimming and dolphin to... I definitely like the Komodo, because it does have venom, running venom, but... Yeah, I'll have to really look into this. Yeah, I'll have to take time off on uploading videos in order to do my research on this. But anyway, back to this hybrid.
better hunting skills, a sleek and agile body, and most importantly, some of the most lethal teeth in the ocean. Now onto another big boy, the beluga.
A beluga?
Now,
why
I know,
a beluga?
Really good guy, a beluga? I mean, these guys are just goofy. And while, yes, they do look funny, their specialized abilities helps make this hybrid even more formidable than she already is.
Echolocation?
Versatility. While the orca does have echolocation, it isn't the best the ocean has to offer, as orcas and tylos mostly rely on sight and sound for hunting, which is pretty ineffective in deep, dark, or murky waters. The hybrid would struggle to locate prey in low visibility conditions or sense movement through the water. Solution? Well, the beluga is known for its echolocation skills, being one of, if not the best at it in the world. They're able to detect prey in complete darkness, can track fast-moving or hidden objects, and can sense movement from long distances. Now into what he boosts, that being adaptability to extreme environments, such as temperature and depth tolerance. Tylos were built for warm tropical waters, while orcas prefer colder conditions. Without adaptation, this hybrid could struggle to survive extreme temperature shifts. Its body might also lack buoyancy control, making it inefficient in different water depths. But luckily, the beluga's insulating blubber and cold resistance is going to help out. Belugas thrive in Arctic waters due to their thick blubber, which regulates body temperature and provides energy reserves. Adding beluga DNA gives this hybrid heat retention, allowing it to survive in icy waters while also functioning in warmer climates. And its blubber also improves buoyancy control, helping the hybrid adjust its position in the water without constantly expending energy. And lastly, it further adds intelligence. Having orchid DNA as a base plus beluga will ensure this animal is very smart.
That's gonna be a dangerous combination
at random. So yeah, as you see, the beluga is a great addition. So overall, we have an insane beast. Mixing everything together, we have a super intelligent being. She's able to use echolocation to find her targets, and thanks to the adaptability of the croc and beluga, this hybrid can hunt with pinpoint accuracy.
But how is it going to attack something that's on land?
To fresh streams and even murky creeks. Really, any water type you can imagine, this hybrid will survive in. No shore is safe from her power. And speaking of power, let's cover her stats. How strong is she? Well, starting with her size. This hybrid comes in on an average length between 20 to 25 feet long. Smaller than the Tylo, but larger than most predators. And despite her size, she is surprisingly lightweight, allowing her to stay quick, weighing in at only around 3 to 4 tons. And now, onto speed. This hybrid have a cruising speed of roughly 20 miles an hour, but for quick bursts, she can boost that speed all the way up to 50 for a chase. But onto one of the most important things, her bite. I got rid of the arm issue with Hank as well. This hybrid doesn't have arms, but what about the bite? Well, trust me, this bite is just as devastating. This hybrid would bite with similar forces to a saltwater croc, that being around 3,700 psi. But what makes it much scarier is that this hybrid isn't trying to saw through or chomp you in half. No, her goal is to cause as much pain as possible and quickly make you bleed out, as her teeth aren't croc style or Tylo. No, they're the teeth of the barracuda, being further reinforced by the orca's tooth structure, making sure she doesn't break them. Along with that, there's one reason we picked the Tylosaurus over the mosasaur, that being its stronger snout. allowing her to ram into
Okay,
enemies as
so it
needed.
can
But how
ram.
quickly can she bite? Well, that's another horrifying aspect, as this hybrid will be able to bite in rapid succession, biting around 5 to 7 times per second if she needs to. But back to her snout. How does she breathe? Well, this hybrid actually has 2 ways to go about that. Firstly, her nose. Thanks to the crocodile DNA, this hybrid has a normal nose, used for taking in air to breathe. But she also has 2 big gills, similar to the barracuda. Then one issue you might think of,
I didn't even think of that. So this thing can breathe air and underwater. Well played, Goji Guide. Well played.
is the fact that she might take in water through her nose while swimming. But thankfully, we have a fix for that. Firstly, a nasal valve mechanism. Similar to how crocodiles and whales have muscular flaps that seal their nostrils shut when submerged, this hybrid would have an automatic closing mechanism that activates when she enters water. And just to really make sure, we're also giving her water-sensitive reflexes, which sounds outlandish, but I mean, it's as it sounds. When she detects she's in water, which should be pretty easy to do, I mean, just use your eyes, her body will trigger her nasal passages to close and redirect oxygen intake through her gills. Now, why did I give her a nose? Well, that's because she not only can go in water, she can even go onto land for short periods of time, similar to an orca. Along with
Okay.
that, air has much more oxygen in it than water. So if she's on a long migration period and needs to boost herself, taking in air through her nose will provide much better stamina than just her gills. For her swimming, she can swim from depths anywhere from 500 to 700 meters deep. And overall, she would live for around 30 to 40 years. So yeah, I think it's safe to say this is a pretty well-built hybrid, much better than Hank. And so, here she is, the Velox Chrysalis Adaptidus.
Orla Vex.
And yeah, there she is. But something's missing. She's almost too perfect. I know, that's a big claim. But I
Yeah,
feel she's
how-
missing a flair to her. Hank's design was so iconic. She needs something too. And well, my friends, I'm not gonna disappoint. I am so confident with this hybrid, she's honestly unbeatable. While sure, she might have minor flaws, her gene pool is so well balanced, and all the animals complement each other so well, it's honestly boringly perfect. So let's throw a wrench into the mix, a wild card. And some of you may have seen this coming, as I mean, her name doesn't make sense. I mean, Velox Chrysalis Adaptidus, what does that mean? Well, let's break it down. Velox means swift or fast, which that checks out given the barracuda. Adaptidus means adapted or adaptable, which really checks out, given she can really go anywhere, even land. But what about Chrysalis? Well, that's a custom fun touch. Something I bet none of you would have expected. There is one more fish in her DNA. All these pics you've seen so far, yeah, that's not her full design. Ladies and gentlemen, the final fish to the mix, the
Okay.
glassfish. Yes, really.
Glassfish? Why that?
Oh, and did I say nerf her? Oh, whoops, sorry. I meant buff her by quite a bit. Now, the glassfish, as you could probably guess, is see-through. But what makes it see-through? Well, there are 2 different parts of his body. The main body itself, and then the fins. And while there's a lot of info on the body itself, we're going to look at what makes its fins see-through, as that is what will be replicated. And to keep it short and simple, it's due to 2 main things, that being pigmentation, or lack thereof, and muscle density. Now, there is an issue. While being transparent is great for camouflage, it's horrible for durability, as your muscles or skin are now super thin. So how can we get that effect with the fins without reducing the fin durability too much? Well, put on the lab coats we used to make Hank, as we're going to implement selective transparency. Unlike glassfish, which have full transparent tissue, this hybrid will only
Okay.
develop transparency in the very ends of its fins, reducing the pigmentation in non-essential areas, such as cartilage. This means muscle-dense regions of her body stay opaque and durable, while the outermost fin tissue remains practically see-through. And thanks to Vex's gene pool, the only part of her body that'll be see-through is her outmost fins, which are made of, say it with me, cartilage. So I'm happy to finally reveal her full design. Artist, remove those fins. Here
Okay.
she is, Vex. Now there is one last purpose to her new fins. And as weird as it sounds, it's a failsafe. Now, what do I mean? Well, Vex is, quite frankly, perfect. I really don't think you can have a more balanced creature than her. But here's the thing, she's not the best at any one category. You can by all means have a fish that is stronger, has a more powerful bite, is larger, or is faster. But the thing is, she has countermeasurements to each one of those. Facing a beast that's much stronger, well, that would require great size, meaning they're slower. Vex would use her superior speed and agility to make sure they never land a hit. Got a creature with a stronger bite? Well, that would require a strong jaw and a lot of muscles, aka, again, a larger creature, making them weigh more and making it easy to outmaneuver them.
Interesting.
What about a faster creature? Well, to get really any faster than Vex, which honestly even the 50 miles an hour speed is pushing it, that would be like full peak. I suppose her average top speed would be around 45-ish. Getting any faster would require a lot of trade-offs. Firstly, size. Getting faster at this point means getting smaller. Another thing, maneuverability. If you focus too much on speed, it would become too difficult to move and evade attacks in battle. And finally, stamina. Sure, you may be much faster, but Vex having a nose and in turn lungs provide her with much better stamina. so she would just outmaneuver a faster fish. And if for whatever reason she needs to flee, she could just swim down. As if you're going to make a somehow faster hybrid, you need a lot of fast fish. And well, I hate to tell you, but fast fish, or at least the ones that be faster than Vex, don't go deep. As faster fish normally hunt in the epipelagic zone of the ocean, around 0 to 200 meters in depth, as that region is abundant in prey fish. And the only fast fish that can go to her depth only stay for a short burst when hunting, so she has speed covered really well. But what are the fins for then? What are they a countermeasure to? Well, there's one group I left out. What if someone makes a super intelligent fish? Well, firstly, Vex is already incredibly smart, having the mental skills and stability of the orca and beluga, and along with that, the wide range of hunting skills that is provided by the Tylosaurus, saltwater croc, barracuda, and much more. This makes her almost unbeatable in combat. But let's say someone does make a smarter fish. By all means, you can make one smarter. So why is the glassfish here? How does this tiny fish help against a super genius? Well, it's to scare them. Yes, really. Making an animal that relies on its wits means you will have a fish that is constantly analyzing, trying to monitor its opponents, and trying to find any weaknesses. And really the only weakness Vex has would be her fins, like really any fish. But thanks to the glassfish, when swimming fast, even in clear water, Lord forbid murky or dark, her fins, the only thing a smarter fish would rely on to attack, are now gone. Or at least gone from sight. All the opponent would see is a literal torpedo-shaped animal that knows their location, can outswim them,
so it's basically
and knows almost every form of
removing the
hunting.
fins,
Any animal that relies
essentially.
on its brain, while smart, also means it's more susceptible to stress, fear, and confusion, which is exactly what Vex will inflict. So, sorry, I'm just very proud of this one. Vex can deal with strength, speed, bites, and even brains. So, unless some new dumb rule is widely accepted, I think it's safe to say Vex is pretty darn good. But with that being said, while me and Vixen have our ongoing and upcoming
it's
lore,
only in
I want to do my
water.
own little thing on the side. The ocean is big, like really big.
Yes.
So over the next few weeks, I will update you all where Vex is on Earth in the community tab of my channel. So if you want to keep up, please make sure to subscribe. So to those who want to make a challenge and try and stop her massacre along the way, you'll have the chance. And here's the best part. If and when you guys do upload your own water hybrid, I'll try my best to make sure to react to it live, so me and my audience can see the new challenger. So, get cooking, everybody. So, what did you think? Did I cook? Or do you think she's gonna kill herself on day one? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. This took so long to make. Also, wait. I couldn't find a place to talk about it in the video, but I'll put it here. I've partnered up with G-Fest to give away 10 free weekend passes for free, along with the grand prize of a full coverage to G-Fest.
Listen, I don't care what Goji Industries is doing or what.
Wait, hold on.
See ya.
Yeah, hold on.
Wait, what? You mean to tell me they made a fish and let the damn thing go? The hell do you expect us to do? We didn't plan for this. We don't even know what the thing is made of. Okay, listen, I don't care what Goji Industries is doing or what they plan to do with it. Just please, make sure that thing doesn't get near the island. Dude, really? What do you mean, what island? The one with the giant ape on it, you moron!
Hank? Wait, they're bringing back Hank from the dead? Well, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, hold on, let me go ahead and cook myself. Okay, I'm going to... Okay, so... We're gonna do this live. Hang on, Drogon. Okay. There's more images. Okay. Let's see here. All right. How do I want to? Okay. Drogon. So, how do we want to build this thing? Let's see. I definitely want... Let's see, what do I... Okay, obviously I'm gonna have to put some Komodo dragon DNA. But what I also want is Bombardier beetle DNA over at the... And put them into the salivatory glands right here, giving it the fire breath. And I want some pterosaur DNA, and I think you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here, because I actually want to focus fully on this whole thing, because the Goji War has really got me inspired to build one. So if you want to see the end results, please be sure to stay tuned. And if you want to see more content like this, as well as gameplays and all that jazz, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, get lucky today, and as always, my Ammonites, I will see you at the next dive. Yen bye, and good night.